So mind. Okay. All right. Do here. Okay. Hey, what's good, y'all? I just decided to pop out. I'm working on some stuff, and I said, why not just go live? And if people want to come in and chat, they can. Oh, what's good? What's good, brother? Hold up, let me find it. I had to go on YouTube to find that. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Here we go. All right, check this up out of here. What's good, Emmanuel? I'm just popping up, man. I ain't got nothing going on, man. I'm just had the night off work, so I said, let me just I'm up here anyway. So give everybody a space to talk if they want to talk while I am working on some stuff. How much it is going to actually come out, that's a whole nother thing. I'm always working on shit. And so appreciate you for stopping in, brother. Always very supportive, Lisa. I know you're going to support it. So, but yeah, man, hopefully everything's all right. And like I said, I'm just working on some stuff. And I said, let me just go live while I'm up here. Appreciate you, man. I'm just chilling, man. I'm chilling, just chilling out. Appreciate you for stopping in, man. You always very supportive as well. So yeah, enjoy that Vegas sector, man. After the weekend over here, I'm kind of tuckered out. It's a little crazy over here. So, but it's hot up here too, man. Sheesh. Oh, let me put a little music on because let me find me a little background music. Set the chill out mood. Where we at here? Let's see what we got. No, we got boom bap. How do I like this? What is this? That's too. I'm in a chill mood. Yeah, I like that. I like that chill out music. So, well, hello, DMO. What's going on? What's going on? I just decided to go live while I'm working on some stuff. So, um, no topic. Matter of fact, let me put the link in the chat so if people want to talk, they can. chilling on the balcony. That's what's up. Message. All right, cool. Hopefully it's nice. The weather. Hopefully the weather is nice where you're at. It is. It's been hot here in Connecticut. So if you're close, if you're in New York or Rhode Island, probably like the same type of weather. But it's actually hot up here. I got the AC on. I feel like I'm cooking. Yeah. Yeah. If I wasn't, like I said, I'm up here working on some stuff. So if I wasn't, it'd be nice to catch a breeze. Although I'm 100% sure that even though this room, because it's an upstairs room, the AC is for whatever reason, it's not really, you know what I'm saying? It's not as cool as what I would like it to be. But, you know, if I want to be in the AC, I go downstairs. But if I'm not going to be in the AC, a nice cool breeze. That'd be nice. Also, too, I am sipping Remy, so that's probably warming me up. You in the Bay. Okay. Man, the Bay has such a rich history of hip hop. I'm a hip hop head. The Bay. Oh man. So Emmanuel, is just kind of educate me on like the different. I know Oakland and is Oakland the only place considered the Bay? What's considered the Bay? What are the cities that's considered the Bay? And again, appreciate you for stopping there. Really appreciate it. What's considered the Bay? Because even the music that I heard that was from the Bay, like the E40s. Well, my first introduction was Too Short, and I found out about a lot of the other guys late after that. So Too Short, the Ghetto was my first introduction to the Bay that I remember, and then other things like I found out was from the Bay afterwards. Yeah, I've been, this is that season where the fireworks gonna go on for like another month, all freaking night. So East Bay, Oakland, San Francisco, okay. All right. Okay. Or the Bay, I was saying the Bay, I mean, each region has a rich history of hip hop. The Bay definitely, I'm just chilling, man. I'm just chilling, Chad. And of course, Texas definitely got a rich history of hip hop. But you probably could give me some of them early like pioneer acts, because we all know the Ghetto Boys and some of the major ones that like pop. You probably could give me some of those underground ones that you was listening to that people don't know about. So yeah, man, stop and check. Listen, this is a grown folks chat. What's good, Jay Dunn? Appreciate you for stopping in. But yeah, that's what I do over here. Just, but tonight in particular, I'm not really doing anything specific. I'm just vibing while I work on some stuff. And I figure while I'm up here, just press the live button and give people looking to chat, they can chat. So again, appreciate you for stopping in. If people don't know about Chad and Shan, you know, Shan from a few years ago, man. Best comments in the chats, for real. I fuck with Chad. I guess. Well, hello, hello. How you doing?
Hey, honey bunny, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, now I ain't supposed to be on no pet for at least another few days, so I'm not here. I just happened to be in the neighborhood and I saw your light. Can you give me directions, maybe, to help me find my way back to the clouds?
It
That's
just
all
go
you
up.
need to come up
Just
here.
if you're
Just
looking for
go
the
up.
clouds, just go up. Just float
Okay,
up.
just go up. That's all I have to do. Okay, thank you for
Now
that.
hold up. Wait. Before you leave, why are you not getting on panels for a couple of weeks? What's going on?
Showing my ass.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm listening. Everybody has that in them.
Yeah, I was
That's
just
number
thinking it's
one.
getting old.
Everybody has the ability to, when they get upset, to like really just, you know what I'm saying? But, and you
But
allowed that,
and I understand that, but I love the people that, walked me through it. So, I just had to come up here and show us a little bit how my ass back down before the person I don't never see my ass up here and be giving me them side eyes.
All right. Well, I appreciate you stopping in. You always very supportive. So I'm always going to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you so much, honey. Did you have a great day?
All right. You too. Thank
Did
you.
you have a great day?
Oh, yeah. No, I had a pretty good day. My sleep was a little wonky, but I did get to the gym. And speaking of the gym, there's this guy. So I'm 52. There's this guy that I talk to all the time. He's 82 years old,
Oh, wow.
fit. I mean, like, what I'm saying, good. He's doing pull-ups, push-ups, all of that. And he gives like the biggest, strongest hug every time he sees me. And he keeps me motivated to keep going to the gym. I'm saying 82 years old. He's a retired corrections officer.
Oh,
Good brother,
please.
82 years old, still hitting the gym. And what I'm saying, it got me thinking like 30 more years, like you could, what I'm saying? So hopefully I'm able to be that, functional, upright, walking around, working out. But yeah.
Well, I'm going to be 58 this year, honey, and I'm still bopping on the balcony. So don't let them numbers fool you, honey.
Yeah. Well,
Don't let them fool you.
Well, you know how it is. Like growing up, you saw older people and you was like, you didn't think you didn't really, you couldn't visualize like being that old.
Exactly.
And then next thing you know, you in your 50s, and then from there it's kind of like, you think about all the people that haven't made it this far, and so you just kind of appreciate it a little. I know I speaking personally, I appreciate it a little bit more each day, and I know
absolutely.
KKC, yeah, he has this. He uses this phrase. I don't know if this is his or whatever, but he tries to have a good day on purpose.
Oh, and, yes, I love that.
You know what I'm saying? I love that saying, so I'm about that. Right.
Absolutely. Okay, my love, the dude, my other honey bunny. I will see you later. Say hello, my darlings and my honey bunnies in the chat. And let's
all right, again, thanks for stopping. You wasn't here. You were not here.
I was not. Nope. Just came to get directions, and you said it's up, right? Go up.
If you're looking for the clouds,
yeah,
you're gonna go up. You're gonna go up.
And see, here come YouTube. So damn it. Okay, I'm out. Love ya.
Oh, yes, last call. What's up, man? It's my guy right here. Last call is my guy. Let me see. I did not. I don't think I don't know why I don't have you modded up, but let's see. And YouTube Unfolded, you modded on your other channel. I want to share Last Call out because he is building something. I think that if you looking just to chill out and have really good, dope conversations, he's building that. So I gotta find myself. Oh, DMO. For last call, actually share everybody's show, everybody's channels here. If people pop in, just share the channel. If you're gonna be here, if not, I have to figure it out. But we should all be growing, trying to grow. Hey, the queen is here. The queen is here. Like I said, so. Jay Dunn, I'm glad you came. You came because my only interaction, I just watched you come in here and take up money in spades. So I appreciate you for stopping in. Hopefully you subbed. If you do, what you can expect here is just, I'm just I'm a conversationalist, if that's a word, and I like to talk to people about whatever's going on, but mostly mental health and wealth. That's what I like to do over here. An underrated part of life. We all grinding. We all working hard to get to where we want to get to, and a lot of times we don't stop to smell the roses and make sure that each other are okay. Amongst all the other stuff, I get all the other stuff, and it's fun. But at some point, we should stop and check in on each other. So that's what you'll find over here. So hopefully you sub and you come back. Of course, Keeper. Love your presentation last night, of course. I was at work, so if I wasn't at work, I would love to hop up on the panel. Because I was around for a lot of that stuff. And people that know me know that my name is different, but I was there for a lot of those moments. And we had a lot of fun. I know it got crazy. We had a lot. It was a lot of fun. That, to me, that ladies' night, that was like, what I'm saying? That was one of the best times in the sector. And I put in your chat, I remember I tuned in for that ladies' night, and I remember tuning in because I was so used to it, and nothing happened. I was like, maybe, what I'm saying? Maybe I'm just trying to figure out why it didn't happen. But yeah, that's what's up. I appreciate you for doing a little history. Hey, DMO is, if you don't know, that is HR over here, so she always sharing this out. So again, appreciate you stopping in. Yeah, man. I just, again, like I said, now I'm not even doing what I intended to do. I was working on some stuff, and I was like, let me just go live and give people a place to chat. But I enjoy the conversation more than I enjoy it. I can always get back to what I was doing. I can do that tomorrow morning. Once y'all start coming in, I'm gonna chat about it. So yeah, I like the Russell. I like what he does. I like his wordplay. I like the beats. Of course, them Bay Area beats. Is Mustard from the Bay? They all kind of sound like I don't know the ins and outs of the producers there, but yeah, those like them E40 beats. When I was in my 20s and 30s, them E40 beats was everything. So yeah. That's what's up. Okay. Yeah, that I remember tuning in, and I was like, where's ladies' night? Because I look forward to that. Again, I'm working a lot of hours, and y'all don't know how many nights that y'all got me through, like some of them 5, 6, 7, 8 hour lives, and that's a salute to everybody who's included. You know what I'm saying? I know, there's issues or whatever, but that's definitely including Smoke. Like y'all definitely provided somebody like me personally for a place to just chill out and vibe and just listen to y'all talk uh, and sometimes argue. But it was, yeah, I tuned in loyally. I can't act like I didn't. Lorna Williams. Listen, Lorna, I thought about you because I was watching on Netflix about one of y'all mayors. I can't think of his name, but he reminded me of Chris Farley, and he ended up, tragically passing away from cancer. But he had a he had a crazy run. I believe you from Toronto. He had a crazy run in Toronto. But I think if you're a certain age, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to that mayor. What's up? Oh, hold up. I don't know if I Stephanie Collins in the house. Do I have that here? I have made something. Wow, I downloaded something for you. I didn't upload it on the YouTube? You gotta be kidding me. Kidding me. Oh man, I gotta upload it. Yeah, I gotta upload it. Oh yeah, I don't have it here. Yeah, I ran out of, I don't know, for whatever reason, this Apple Mini ran out of space and I had to delete a lot of stuff, even for me to be able to download little things. I was just having trouble. Again, I have nothing. I was just thank you for stopping in. You don't have to, the replays is going to be whoever stops in. If somebody pop up to talk, but like I said, I was just working on some stuff and I said, let me go live. And if people want to hop in the chat, I always appreciate you for stopping in. Yeah, so remember, if you play, I think like you play what was originally the original chats and stuff like that. If I don't know how it works, but like you play them back, it'll show the name that channel has now. But I do see like when Chat Lives Matter will play some of those back. I see people referring to my name, which is my government name, but the name I changed that particular channel to is in the chat. So it's interesting, but we had a good time over there. I can't act like we didn't have a good time. Yes, Rob Ford, that's what it was. It's a documentary on Netflix, and I believe Lorna Williams is from Toronto. I need to thought her. Yes. Mike, what's good, Mike? Mikey, I don't know. When do you sleep, brother? Anytime. If I wake up or I'm about to go to sleep, I see you live. So. His brother's the premier. Okay. It was such an interesting watch to see, like his story. And I don't know how is he viewed in Toronto after all. I know after people pass away, maybe history is a little bit more kinder to them, or people, when they talk about them a little bit more favorably. But how is Mr. Ford viewed in Toronto? Oh, the homie. What's up, brother? Always good to see you. Always good to see you. Hopefully everything is all right with you. Yeah, man. Greet each other, man. It's all love. You gotta remind me. If you say it and I was there, I could vouch for it. But again, y'all, the link is pinned, man. If y'all want to come up and chat, I always find it's just easier for me to just talk live. I like the chats, but talking live is a little easier. So I plan out these like weeks, these elaborate, okay, Monday through Friday, I plan out these streams. And of course I never have time. I get a little bit ambitious, but I literally have like 7 days a week planned out all the time of what I want to do. But I just, either I'm tired or I'd be like, I don't want to bother, or somebody doing something and I'm like, oh, let me tap into this. Because I definitely want to do more. I appreciate y'all stopping in too, man. It's always dope. The support is always there. Appreciate it. Hold on for 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. Shoot. Check on something real quick. Hey, DC, man, when you oh, there you go. I was just about to say, what was that question? What's good? What's good, man?
Yo, what's up, brother? At a certain age.
I'm good, man. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing pretty good.
You say you driving home?
Yep, I was just driving home. Let me put my lights up top real quick. There we go.
All right, all right.
So what you been on?
Ain't nothing, man. I'm just, like I said, I was just gonna work on some stuff and open up the chat. You know, people surfing and looking to connect, they can do that. But so far, once people start talking, I like lost my focus. I'm talking to everybody else. I ain't doing what I said I was gonna be doing. But that's all right. I'd rather talk to people anyway.
What did you say you was gonna be doing?
No, I was gonna be working on some like content ideas, like working on my thumbnails and Canva and stuff like that. I was just letting people talk while I do it, like on my own screen.
Oh, okay.
Y'all wouldn't have been able to see it, but yeah, that's what I was gonna be doing. But as soon as people start talking, I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'm gonna talk to the people instead of
Right. I feel you.
what's good, man? How you been, man? How the hell you been, man?
Man, it's been crazy. Of course, it's hot here in Chicago now, and during this time of year is when stuff gets the craziest, right?
Yeah.
Right after Labor Day is when it kicks off, where people start getting into the violent crime here in Chicago.
Yeah, I saw another one of the young rappers, or one of the rappers got
Yeah, this time a female, I believe.
yeah, it was a female, and then it was a male, and then a female too. It seemed like within a 2-day period.
Right.
That's like, and I know, like, when you from a place, like the place I'm from can be pretty violent. So like when I go somewhere, I know what it is in the places, but it's not that for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like I'm in. I mean, I know it's there. I don't feel like I'm in danger. So I imagine when you moving around, you know what's what. But like, it seemed like Chicago's on something else.
Yeah, and I've been noticing that for a while. Back when I originally lived here and didn't go anywhere else, I didn't think that this was a unique experience. I
Mm.
thought that everywhere was like Chicago. No matter where you go in this world, in this country, it's going to be just like Chicago. There's going to be good neighborhoods, there's going to be bad neighborhoods, and then there's going to be extremely bad neighborhoods. And I thought that was going to be the same everywhere, and that the culture of the Black experience was going to be as rough and as wild as what I was experiencing here in Chicago. And that's just what it is all over the world.
Mm.
Of course, when I had got my military experiences, I quickly found out that no, it's not like that. Everywhere I go is not like Chicago. My Citizen app on my phone don't go off like crazy in Indiana.
Right,
It don't-
right.
it's not ringing all the time. It's not blaring. When it does, somebody's cow got tipped over or something like that. Like it was, I was like, this is a whole different experience. Like I just kept waiting to hear my Citizen app go off. Because in Chicago, listen, my Citizen app is almost never quiet. It's always ringing. It rings so much that I had to delete that app from my phone in
Right.
order to like live without being, consciously aware of what's going on everywhere. Like it would just keep going off every 5 minutes. Somebody else and got shot, robbed, something like that.
Mhm.
So I was like, this is crazy. Now, when I go out to Indiana, wasn't like that. When I went to Germany, wasn't like that. It was so many different places I've been to, and it wasn't like that. And my father used to always tell me, I don't care where you go, everywhere will always be like in Chicago. And no, it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
It ain't the same.
yeah. I mean, it just like I said, and I was saying, like, the last time I was running the streets, I was 18, 19, and
Hmm.
you talking about 30 some years ago. So I don't have a true understanding of it. I kind of know a little bit, but I don't have a true understanding of what's actually going on. But it seemed like them young brothers is just getting to it, and you know, I like anytime it's a situation like that, I worry about the generation after them, like
Yeah,
the
it's
effect
even
on their
worse.
kids and things like that. When you losing parents and you grow up in for all intents and purposes a war zone,
Yeah,
and where get back is important, and like if you don't really like remove yourself from that, or remove your kids, or somehow they don't get a chance to see the world, or get a perspective like you've been able to travel and see different things. It's almost like, and I'm not saying they doomed, but it's almost like what I'm saying, they doomed. And it's just sad. And you went back home after, what I'm saying, you back home, you're saying.
yes. So
Okay.
yeah.
So there's
Mhm.
always, before you go there, I wanted to check, is unadulterated you still in here? I wanted to check with you because I wanted to know if you are getting the if you're getting the again, salute for stopping in, if you're getting the Crawford and Canelo, if you are going to order that, because I wanted to do something where I want to have a panel. Obviously you can't stream it online, but we could be watching it and commenting on it. And I got a couple other people that love boxing and love the fight game. And if you're interested in that, if you are getting it, just being up on the panel and talking, round to round. So if not, if you're not in here, I'll shoot you an email. But anyway, I just wanted to check. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I
Oh
interrupted.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, when I got back home, yeah, I got an opportunity to see what was going on. It wasn't even 5 minutes before I got home that I saw my first crime. Um, I got home from base, and basically I was let go from what was it, seasonal training.
Hmm.
So my seasonal training was a 90-day period, and it happens after tech school and after basic training. So seasonal training is where you go in to get trained up on the job training about your job. They give you a 90-day trial, they work you out, they tell you everything that you need to know about the job to be successful and everything else like that. Afterwards, you get to go home. I went home, go back to your regular civilian type lifestyle while still being in the reserves, and you're waiting for your opportunity to come back and go on orders again. So what happened was is when I came back to Chicago, I was like, man, I'm finally home. I'm finally don't have any more orders to go on until they call me up again. I still got to do my service weekends and my 2 weeks out of the summer. I still got that deal going on. But eventually what happened was is like 5 minutes into me being home, I saw a store being robbed. It was like three kids. They were running out of the store with Gucci bags and all kind of stuff, and the security guard was chasing them outside. And I was like, "Dang, well, welcome home, back to Chicago."
You're welcome home.
Like later on that day, I heard a shooting. I mean, it was back full force. Everything that I had got away from for a while, it just all dawned on me why I was ready for a new experience is because it was all this hood stuff that was going on. And at the time, I was still living in an area that was it was okay. It wasn't super hood, it wasn't super nice. It was just in the middle. It's a normal Chicago environment.
Mm.
So, um, of course, as my money progressed, as I got up in rank and stuff like that, and when I started going on orders more often, so my orders are basically like mini deployments where you go out for like 30 to 60 days, sometime as long as 90 days, and you'll be back on base again doing your job. And every day for those 7 days, you're on call. At any time that a plane needs to be fixed, they call you out to the flight line, you fix a plane, you get it up in the air. And normally you work from 7 to 4, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. From 7 to 4 or 7 to 4:30 is when you work. But when you're on orders, you actually work 24/7. So
Mm.
it's not just 7 to 4. It could be any time. They could call me up in the middle of the night and say, we had an emergency landing. This, and this is messed up. You need to come out to the flight line and fix it.
Right.
So that was an interesting experience. And I loved going out on those because that's how you make the money, right? So I used to make more money on doing orders than what I would actually make for my civilian job. So the amount of money that I would make for my civilian job, I could make that in a few months working my military job. And I thought that was like the craziest thing ever. So it was a dual income situation, and it really supplemented my income. It was crazy how much I was able to make off of that, right? So um, I would say that those little stints and periods of when I got an opportunity to be out at base was some of the most peaceful moments of my life. My wife and I used to be on base together, and we would just sit there and be like, "You hear that? No sirens,
Mm.
no police, no gunshots other than the ones when they're doing the range. You really not hearing about any crimes going on. Citizen app is quiet. It was like heaven, man. This is for
So
somebody that comes out of Chicago.
yeah, so she from Chicago too then.
Yeah, she's from Chicago as well. She's military as well.
Okay.
And we both actually joined together. So it was one of those things where we realized that we were gonna stay together. And I had told her I was gonna go to the military. And I remember originally I told her I wanted to go to the Navy because that's what my friend was in. And my friend is actually the reason why I even pursued a military career. um I was on a trip with him, and the guy told me all these great things about the military, and I loved the way it sounded, the way people responded to him, the way they looked at him. And at the end of the day, I was telling him I was thinking about doing it, and he was like, "Don't worry, man. I know you ain't man enough for that. I'll protect you." So that bothered me, and I got real pissed, and we started going back and forth about it. And I was like, "No, man, I ain't trying to hear it. I'm finna go to the recruiter as soon as we get home from this trip." And he was like, "Yeah, sure you are, no problem. Um, I'll go ahead and
Listen,
buy you a."
I got to be honest. Like because like I don't know how it is now, but years ago, around the time you were like a junior and senior, the military recruiters were coming in like like hard, like they was up at the school. The
Mhm,
school allowed them to talk to us. I was so my first of all, it took me 5 years to finish high school because I dropped out in my junior year, ran the
mhm.
streets for a little bit, and what I'm saying, like the real tough guys, the real ones that was about it, convinced me I needed to go back to school and finish high school along with my mom's. You know what I'm saying, my mom's is like
Right,
my mom's on me heavily about like you waited till your junior year to drop out, but I was making a little money, so I thought, whatever.
right,
A couple of people got locked up, a couple of people got shot, so I went back to school, and the military recruiters were there heavily. But me personally, I just did not feel like in a couple of my buddies that was in the same boat as me, and they got disciplined, and from the
mhm,
military, they went in, and I like kind of wish that I did, but I did not feel like I would be disciplined enough to be, because I'm watching, like, I don't, you're a little younger than me, but I'm watching like
mhm.
Officer and a Gentleman, and all these type of things, and I'm like, I can't let nobody, like, my mind was like, I can't let nobody yell at me and stuff like that. I want to fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm going in somebody's mouth with my fist.
Right,
Or, you know what I'm saying? So I always salute people that's able to like look at that um, and then say, okay, I'm going to do it. I got a really good friend of mine that went to the Marines, and the only reason he went to the Marines because I left the city, and he was. And a bunch of us left the city. One of my cousins went to college. I left. Like a bunch of people left, and he was kind of there by himself. He ended up joining the Marines after that. But he was like, and I was like, but yo, what made you join the Marines? He was like, yo, I wasn't doing nothing with my life, and and this is like in the middle to like really like mid to, it was like right in the middle of the crack era where people was making a lot of money, and for him to like be like, you know what, I'm gonna lead out alone. I'm gonna join the Marines. He ended up doing that. I always salute people that do stuff that I wasn't willing to do, regardless of what it was. I had the same opportunities, but I couldn't see myself. I just like now I know that I could have done it, but back then I couldn't see
mhm.
myself being that regimented. That what I'm saying, we gonna get up at this time, we're gonna do this at this time. We're gonna, what I'm saying. So, salute you
Right.
for and your wife too for that.
Man, Thank you. To be honest with you, I feel like it was mostly just luck and timing with me, because it's like the very first time I heard about it, man, was when I was in high school, and the Army recruiters made it sound real good. I put in for my selective enrollment for like it was something that they had us do in my generation where it was like a selective member enrollment or something like that, where everybody had to sign up for it anyway. So in case a draft or something happened, they could just call you.
Mm,
And I was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do this thing. That is what I kept thinking. I went home, told my dad about it. I was so excited about it. I was like, I want to be an Army rescue medic. And my dad looked at me and went, no. He's like, let's not go that route. He's like, there's so many other things in life you could be doing and stuff like that. But I knew right then and there that that was for me, I thought. And I kept saying to myself that I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. And he kept telling me, no, you need to talk to your grandfather. He'll tell you about what the Army does to people, stuff like that. This isn't the route. But I just couldn't see myself in anything else. So I continued on with high school, finished it off, went to college, and I was still thinking about it. When it was time for everybody to graduate, I had got accepted to Lewis University, which is it is a private school here in Illinois, or close to Illinois. I believe it's in Romeoville, Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. But I got accepted there, and it was a school that had its own airport, and it was supposed to be about aerospace and teach people how to be pilots, air traffic controllers, and stuff like that. The thing was, is I didn't want to go though. Even though I had everything set up, I just didn't want to go. I just really thought to myself, I'm gonna go to the Army. That's what I should be doing. But I listened to my dad because I like his advice. My dad is normally right about a lot of things. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and take my dad's advice, and I'm just gonna go to a junior college real quick. And I didn't really take it that serious, man. So I really wasn't feeling it like that. Didn't really want to be there. And I kept thinking, man, I should go be in uniform. But at that time, I was too scared to do it because, my grandfather had told me about it. He had made me, dissuaded me from doing it. And I was too scared at that point. And I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to go and join the Army anymore. I started working a regular job, so kept doing the community college thing. None of that stuff was really working out for me. And then, like I said, my friend, he went to college, finished up college, came out, and then he decided to join the Navy. I saw him do it, and I was like, man, ain't nothing special about him. I was
right,
like,
right.
If he can do it, I can do it. I was like,
Yeah,
this guy's a
sometimes you
regular
gotta.
guy.
Yeah, sometimes that's the thing. Like you connect with somebody that you could reach out and touch, and see that they're able to do it. So yeah, sometimes that's the thing. Go ahead.
Right. I was like, this guy here, he's grown up in the hood just like I did. We both had that thought process that you had where nobody can tell us nothing because, we done been through all these different fights. We done been disrespected, and you got to get your respect back by getting your lick in. So, like, we had that kind of disposition about ourselves. And I was like, if this guy can make it, and I've seen him get down with people before because of being disrespected. And trust me, the military is a disrespect factory. Like, like they're the disrespect factory. I've been called all kinds of things in there that boy, you can't put that on YouTube. So it's kind of like, with that happening, I was like, if my friend can do it, I can do it. And then when he challenged me and made it sound like I couldn't do it, I was like, I'm definitely gonna do it. And when I told people about it, you should have seen so many people were scared for me to go there. And they were like telling me, man, I don't know if you should do that. But a lot of that fear that people had was self-internalized fear is what I noticed. Like it was something that they were afraid to do. So they kept telling me not to do it because they themselves were afraid. I didn't understand it at the time and see it that way. I just thought they were trying to, stop me from progressing. So I went ahead and I did it, man. And like I said, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. My wife was the reason why we ended up in the Air Force and not in the Navy. My wife told me she couldn't swim, so she was like, we're gonna have to try another branch. So that's when she put out the Air Force for me.
Yeah, I have one of my partners I grew up with retired from the Air Force. I'm going to say a couple of years ago. So no, actually two of them. my boy
Mm,
Brad Richmond and Jermaine. They both went to the Air Force, and I'm when I it's interesting. And when I tell you like hood dudes who like you wouldn't think would join the military, like they joined the military and stayed in it until his
hmm.
retirement age. I got about 3 or 4 partners that like went to the military and made a career out of it, and now they're working civilian jobs, but they're essentially retired though. They're just kind of like, what I'm saying, finishing, what's going on. They're just trying to figure out exactly what they want to do with their life, but they're
Yeah.
essentially retired after doing their 20 something years. That's the thing that makes me like go like, if I would have tried it, maybe I would have liked it, because some of them dudes that like was out there, and I'm talking about getting money, but the late 80s and early 90s was a really violent time,
Right.
and a lot of guys was just like, you know what, I'm out of here. One of my good friends, he's probably like 10 years younger than me, but he went to Iraq, and he was, and he ended up coming back. I'd said this on one of my lives. He ended up coming
Hmm.
back, and he's like in community and stuff like that. And he was just like, yeah, I mean, Bridgeport was bad, but when I was in Iraq, like that's a whole nother thing that made me realize like we got it bad, but what I'm saying, there are people who got it crazy worse. And he ended up like you coming back home and being a pillar in the community, which like that's another thing I salute too.
Hmm.
You could have the military. One of the things that military allows you to do is see the world and find another spot and be like, you know what, I'm gonna settle in San Diego. I'm gonna stay in
Yeah.
San Diego. I ain't got to worry about this or that. I'm gonna go and do that. So again, going home is a big deal because
Yeah.
as bad as it may seem, certain people need to see somebody like you who can say, yo, because a lot of times they're not listening. Kids are not listening to you if you're a square.
Yeah.
Till you say, nah, I'm from right here. Like I grew up right here. And then it's like, oh, okay. And to see somebody come back and just
Yeah.
and pour into the community, that's a big deal. It's underrated.
And the funny thing is that the military needs people like us, people that grew up in difficult situations and difficult places that was hard to navigate with extremely war-driven type of themes to it, where it seems like a war zone. Because the thing is that people like us that grew up in those kinds of situations, we're already cut from the right type of cloth and material to be in the military. We already have the conditioning, the training, the bearing, the thoughtfulness of our surroundings. Like we already have all that stuff. We already know what it's like to be in hard times. So when you go to basic training, there's a lot of psychological warfare that's going on to you. And that's a part of the system. They need to break you down as a person so that they can rebuild you back up as a unit with the rest of the people around you. They want to put you into a cohesive unit where everybody is accepting of the same culture. But again, in order for a person to be the right material to be broken down, everybody can't do that. Some people get broken down and they can't be put back together. But people like us that come from these hood situations, we're resilient. A lot of us are super resilient. You can break us down over and over again, and every time we can adapt and we can readapt to whatever group, whatever unit we get put in. We can be moved to another place. We go back to the bare bones of living. We can go back to eating beans and rice, and we can be fine because we've done this before.
Mhm.
Just from living in the hood, we've had hard times. So a lot of my peers, some of the things that just broke their heart and broke their mind could not break me. And that's what I noticed. There were some things that was not so great about basic training that I was already adapted to. I was like, oh, whatever. These people were yelling at me, telling me I can't talk to nobody, telling me that I got to do this a certain way, that a certain way. And with being in the hood, I have to live a certain way in order to survive. There's things that I have to do that I don't want to do, but in order to survive, I got to do it. So for me, I was already accustomed to not always having my way, not always being able to just navigate the world as the master of the universe. So, it was just perfect for me.
Yeah,
Real easy.
yeah, that's underrated, and a lot of times. So the shame of it is that a lot of times people don't get the opportunity. They get cut down short. They don't get the
Yeah.
opportunity to get that transition. If you could just like, if like, so when I grew up, when I was growing up, the area that I was at was, like me and my friends, we was like, yo, we gonna die on these corners. Like it was like, like a block radius where that's all we was at. That we didn't see anything other than that. So
Right.
um I'm only fortunate. You know what I'm saying? I literally, I'm gonna tell you, like, I walked away from the block when I was 18, and I knew I was gonna be a father at the time. So I, whatever, my last bundle, I got rid of it and I walked away from that. And within like 2 to 3 weeks, one of my people, he didn't pass away at the time. He's passed away now, but one of my peoples got shot right there in that spot that was my home, that I said, I'm gonna die, we gonna die here. Like,
Hmm.
but I ended up, you know, getting a job and transitioning. And this is, I'm 18 at the time. So like a lot of people don't get that opportunity to there was people who was younger than me who did not get that opportunity, and there was people who was my age and didn't get that opportunity, and there was people who was a little older than me, didn't get that opportunity to just, I'm saying, make that decision and walk away. So um, I think, like I said, when I look back, it probably would have been a good deal for me, because in my mind I didn't think I could do it. But the fact of the matter is, the things that you're talking about, some of the tools that you need to
Yeah.
survive in the military, and like, I like, certain things are disrespectful to me, and I seen people literally lose their head. And I'm not talking about figurative. I'm talking about literally lose
Literally, yeah.
their head over some stuff that was disrespectful. So I understood, like, the way I move, I don't say I'm not going to be involved in certain things, because I know there's consequences for them things. So that's probably would have helped me. But
Hmm.
my mindset, what I'm saying, was limited at the time. So
I get it.
yeah, I didn't think that I could do it. So the people that did do it, like, I'm always gonna salute the people that did stuff that I looked at and was like, yeah, I should try that. And I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna be able to do it. I limited myself. Uh, that's partially why I work as hard as I do now. I tell my kids, like, yo, do that work now. You don't want to be in
Hmm.
your 50s, like I don't have to grind as hard as I am, but I feel like I left years behind, because okay, I walked away from the block around 18, and it took me like another 5 to 10 years for my mind to really change and grasp. Where if I didn't have that opportunity. You in the military, you can kind of figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life. You got time, you're learning skill. You know what I'm saying? You got, whether
Yeah.
like a 2 year or 4 year or something like that. You got time to learn something, and at the same time decide what you want to do. And if you decide you don't want to come back home to this atmosphere, you don't have to come back home. So, but again, I know it's like, oh, well, you just go and you just sign up with the recruiter. When they were at the school and they were talking to me, like, I was in the office with them and they were talking about it, I was like, nah, I can't. In my mind, I'm like, I can't. What I'm telling the recruiter is like, oh yeah, I'm interested. but
Right.
in, but in my mind, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't.
I wasn't sure about that. I can't do it, or if I can do it back then. Because it was weird. It was like I had a friend that was already in, like I told you, he was in the Navy. He told me everything I needed to do in order to be ready as far as physically.
Right.
So, like, what kind of push-ups I had to do, what kind of sit-ups, what kind of run I needed to do, and I was able to hit the marks, right? So because I was able to hit those marks, I was like, man, I think physically I'm ready for this. But the thing was, is I set a very lofty goal for myself. So not only did I want to be in the military and make it through basic training, but I went around telling everybody I'm gonna be the best. Like that's all I kept telling people. I was like, I'm gonna be an honor grad. I'm about to be the best that's ever been. When I go there, I'm gonna blow their mind and show them something they ain't never seen before. It's gonna be showtime in this motherfucker. That's what I kept telling people. And I kept saying it over and over again. That's because of me being the kind of hybrid nerd type of person. I was good at sports, but I was also nerdy. I watched a lot of anime, and like Naruto is the main character, and he always would say, "I'm gonna be Hokage one day," which means he's gonna be top dog.
Right.
And I kept having that thought process about myself. I'm gonna be top dog. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna do something that they ain't never seen before. I kept telling myself that every day, over and over again. And that kind of propelled me into believing not only am I going to do it, but I'm going to exceed all expectations. Of course, lots of people told me, no, you're not. You're not going to do it. You're not going to make it. There's no way you're going to be the best. There's going to be people from all over the country going for this same position. Some of them are going to be good enough to be Olympic runners. Like my friend that was in the Navy, he was telling me the competition is steep. Some of these guys are professional boxers or could have been professional boxers. Some of them are professional basketball players that are going to play for the Air Force. He's like, these people are so in shape, it's not even funny. He's like, the competition that you're going to go against is going to be ungodly. And I kept telling him, that's why it takes me, a God, to do it. So like, we kept arguing and going back and forth about it and kept joking and stuff like that. But then, I got scared when I actually got on that bus. When I actually got on that bus to go to basic training, that's when I realized it was real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real.
Like I got on that plane. When I got on that plane at first, I didn't feel it. I got on the plane, went down to Texas. We landed. I was in the lobby and it started feeling real when I saw somebody in uniform. And they started yelling at us and telling us to get in line and stuff like that. It started to feel a little real, but it still wasn't real yet. When I got on that bus and we're driving down that old back road and stuff, and everything is dark, and all the people on that bus look scared, and they look like they about to piss right there in that spot that they sitting in. That's when I was like, oh shit, I think I should be scared too. We're finna get fucked up. Like, that's all I kept thinking. We're about to get fucked up.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to curse, but we're about to get messed up.
Brother, you good.
We got really scared, and I remember I was just thinking to myself, this is gonna be crazy. And I was right. The moment I got off the bus, hell began. Every day. The moment we got off that bus, there was 7 people that ran up to my face, started yelling at me as soon as I got off the bus. Put your bag down, pick your bag up, put it down. Why you listening to him? It was it was wild. They was on me like white on rice. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, they're all up in my personal space. This dude's hat is touching my face. This other dude's hat is touching my face. This guy just literally spit on me while he was talking. Like, it was crazy.
That's the stuff, because I watched TV. I had no other reference. Okay, my pops went to Vietnam, but because of the Vietnam experience, and we didn't have a great relationship until I was in my 20s. There was really no conversation about what their military experience was. Only reference I had was those pictures they had. Like you would find like a random shoebox and look in and see the pictures with him and his fellas. That was my only reference. I never, and it didn't occur to me to have conversations with him about that stuff or ask him about it. So I just knew that when I brought up, or if I would ask him about like Vietnam, he would get real somber and he didn't really want to talk about it. So even as I got older and I would talk to him, I remember one time I was with him and his friends, and we were, he brought me around his friends that hadn't seen me since I was a little kid. And it was like about 4 or 5 of them. We was in Hartwell, Georgia, on these back road houses. I mean, I don't even know how we found it, but he knew how to get there. And I was there with them on the porch, and we all laughing and joking. I'm adult now, we having fun, And I don't know what made me be like what was Vietnam like? They was all war buddies, and like the mood just like got somber. And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It was just like one of them things where, you know, and the pretty much the consensus was like we saw and did a lot of things that we shouldn't have to do at that age and blah blah blah. So and my pops joined the military a year early. Like he
Hmm.
did something with his birth certificate, so he because a couple of friends was a little like a year older than him. So he did something so he could join the military early. And of course the military wasn't turning people away to go to war at that particular time. But yeah, so like those type of things, like that was my reference point. Like I didn't really
Hmm.
talk to him about it. So only thing I had was the movies, and I saw these, like you said, the hats in the face, the brim of the hat, he's spitting in your face, he's
Yeah.
yelling at you, and I just in my mind, I just like I still was fighting at my job, my job that I made money on, that was supposed to be supporting my family at the age of, I want to say 27. So I still was like I still was ready to fight and put hands on people and lose a job at the age of 27. So I
Hmm.
couldn't think like 18, 19, 20 that I would be able to deal with that. So you go from Chicago, right? Go from all those things, your natural reaction to what people said and did. There was an order of things, right? There was a level of respect that you had to have for each other, unless uh, something had to happen. And you get into the military and you got this dude like in your face, your first time. What's that?
Hmm.
What is that like?
You know what's funny? um, the first time it happens, when that guy was all up in my face like that, and the other ones on the side, I got hot in the neck area, like real hot in the neck area, hot in the face area, and I could feel me getting really angry and getting really upset. But I'm focused, I'm locked in, and I'm trying to let it glaze over me because I'm like, I came here to do something, and I said I'm gonna be the best. I can't hit this guy or I can't talk crazy to him a mouth off. I did a lot of joking. You know, defrauding charlatans is gonna be defrauding charlatans no matter where I go. And I did a lot of joking before I got there, a little bit later on, but a lot of joking before I got there. I kept telling people I'm gonna go there first day and I'm gonna do what they told me not to do. Number one, wear a shirt that says United States Air Force on it. You're not supposed to wear that to basic training, nothing that has their name on it yet, because you haven't earned the right to wear that shirt.
Yep, yep.
So I said I was gonna wear that shirt. You know what's funny? I had the shirt on the airplane, and I already had it on and everything else like that. The name was on it. It was in big white letters, and it was on the shirt several times. People on that flight that was going to the same place I was going to, they looked at me and they said, "Man, you sure you want to do that?" And I was like,
I
"Yeah, man, I
bet.
ain't afraid of nobody. I'm from Chirac." I was
I
like, "We
bet.
finna get it." I was like, "I'm finna run it." And then and I was joking, of course. I seriously didn't want to do it, but then I thought to myself, "Let me commit." Now that I done told these people I'm finna wear it, I ended up taking it off though. Trust me, trust me.
Yeah, yeah. Listen,
I got
man.
on that bus and I started to realize that this ain't a joke, that this isn't a game, that you need to stop like trolling. Like that's gotta stop. And I immediately took that shirt off when I realized how serious it was and how they not playing with me. And when that guy was yelling at me like that, that's the only thought that was going through my mind. I was like, you could make a joke here like he did in Full Metal Jacket and be like, "Are you John Wayne?"
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you can do that.
yeah,
It would be funny. A lot of people might get a laugh that they won't laugh out loud, but they'll feel it in their gut. But I was like, I just I don't want to deal with the consequences, man. I was like, these people got the right to do whatever they want to me as much as they want to do it to me. And they might even be able to put their hands on me. So I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, that was my reference point. Full Metal Jacket, whatever the movies was back then, because Full Metal Jacket came out. When's Full Metal? And I'm pretty sure I seen it about. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, yeah, Full Metal Jacket came out '87. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that. I was a freshman in high school in '87. So uh I'm pretty sure I saw that, like an officer and a gentleman. Like I saw all these movies, and
Hmm.
I just knew like I can't. There's no way that I could deal with that because I want to swing on somebody. But that's what that was about. Like you said, breaking you down, and building you back up until and molding you into to what they want you to be. Um, and again, like I said, like people that join the military and serve the country like that, especially when they're like you said, like I was saying, like coming from where you come from, and
Hmm.
yo, you know what? Like you had the presence of mind to say, I got to get out of here. And so like for me personally, like I said a little earlier, like when you think of like the time you in there and you enlist, it give you a little breather. I mean, you're going to be learning the skill. You're going to be traveling the world. You're going to be, getting trained, mind, body, all of that. When in your mind, thinking about like, what did you think? Like, this is going to be something that I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it for 2 years, or were you like, let me just see what it is?
Well, my original plan going in, before I got there, was I wanted to do the lifer thing, and I wanted to go active duty. I wanted to be a lifer, go active duty. I had a friend, like I said, that was in the Navy, but he was reserves. He told me right away. He asked me what my dreams, aspirations were, and my goals. I told him what my dreams, aspirations, and goals was, and he said, "Okay, you don't want to be a lifer." He says, "What you want to do is you want to go straight reserve, straight out the gate." It sounds like you prioritize your civilian life, and you want skills, abilities. You want a resume builder, and you also want to make sure that you get an education. So he says, if you want all of those things, he's like, if you go active duty, you're locked into a 4-year contract. For the first 2 to 3 years, you can't even go to school.
Mm.
Like you have to do your job training and you have to stay within your career field and focus on that and get all your trainings and stuff out of the way. So he's like, they won't let you take a college class until they give you permission to do so. He was like, if you go reserve, you'll be able to go to basic training, you'll go to your tech school, you'll go to your first duty station and do your seasonal training, but then you can go to college right away and start using your benefits. And then he was telling me if you deploy for 120 days or more, you get the full benefits that somebody who's active duty all the time gets. He was like, you would be a fool to go straight active duty and you're already in your 20s. He's like, you got to think about how fast you want to get to where you're going and how fast do you want to get to the money. And I was like, well, I want to get to the money quick. I was like,
Mm.
that's the whole reason we're doing this. I want to live in a better place in Chicago so I don't have to worry about getting robbed, shot, and killed. So
Yeah.
I was like, let's get to this money. So he gave me the plan and he told me what to do. So I already went into basic training knowing what I was going to do as a job, knowing how long I was going to be in, and I knew that I was there for my benefits more than anything. That was number one, was securing my benefits and securing a honorable discharge. And because those were my goals, and I knew that my thought process was is that while I'm here, I can't fail. I told everybody I'm gonna do this. Everybody told me, besides a few people, that I can't do this. I can't go home a loser that didn't make it.
Right.
I
Right.
can't go home being the guy who wasn't tough enough to make it through. And then to make matters worse, because people told me so often that they didn't think I could make it, that I went and told people that I'm not just gonna make it, but I'm gonna be the best. So there was a time where I was in my first week, above a certain age, and I was like, oh shit. I went around telling people I'm gonna be the best. Shit, I might not even make it. Cause like, listen, as soon as I got there, I almost set the base on fire, man. No joke.
Oh wow.
This is
Yeah.
real talk. As soon as I got there, I almost set the base on fire. We was only there for 2 days, and I already had set the base on fire. There was a washing machine, and the washing machine basically was my responsibility and another guy's responsibility. And we had a whole team of people that was on watch crew. It was like 4 or 6 of us, right? I believe it was 4. And the 4 of us had the washing of clothes duty every day. What ended up happening was is he gave us an impossible goal to make. So we overstuffed the washer. And as I overstuffed the washer, I asked the guy, do you think he can take it? The white guy looked at me and he said this with 100% certainty. He's like, listen, these aren't regular washers. These are industrial
Yeah.
washers. And I swear to God, I looked at him and I went, yeah, you're right. We stuffed that bitch all the way to the top to where it didn't even like spin right. And we could hear it wasn't spinning right. Man, we had overstuffed it. We said we're gonna be on time today. Next thing I know, man, I think it was only like maybe about 10 minutes later, we saw an orange light go off in that room, and I was like, damn, that room is orange. What the fuck is going on in there? Man, the next thing I know, somebody yelled, smoke, smoke, smoke. Like, it was smoke rising from under the door. The whole room is orange. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, we set a fire. Fuck. I'm like, we're about to be kicked out right here and now today. Like, I was like, how do we do this? So anyway, it was like, hopefully this blows over and nobody realizes we did this shit. Man, we did a whole fire drill. We executed the fire drill perfectly. Everybody went outside, lined up. We made our MTIs proud because they said we handled the fire situation like pros. However, he said he had the biggest smile on his face and he said, you know what? I know who did it. He was like, do you know who did it? He called my name and a couple of other people's name and he said front and center. And he kept smiling. He said, well, you boys fucked up royally. He said, what should I do with these guys? He's like, should we all do push-ups or should they just watch you all do them? I don't know. But he says somebody is gonna pay for this.
Mhm.
Oh boy, are they gonna pay?
That's the other thing too, like that I know about the military is like, again, from what you know, my reference points of movies and other people's stuff, like everybody's gonna pay for it. So like it was that whole idea. But go ahead.
They took us upstairs. A couple officers walked into the room. Our MTI was already in there. They just had the four of us in that room. And what happened is they said, who did this? Who was going to take responsibility for this? I don't know what happened. I guess I had a moment of courage because that Chicago did flare up in me. And I stepped forward and I said, I take full responsibility for the actions that was done here today. And the guy looked at me and he went, huh. So he said, you would be willing to take the full punishment of what comes with this. And I was like, yes, I'd be willing to take full punishment of what goes with this. And especially if you would not punish the other people that are here. It was my decision, my choice, my move. And he looked at me and he was like, huh. He said, in all the years of people messing up, he was like, I've never heard that. Never once. Now he told me what's going to happen is that what you did is courageous, brave, but stupid. Because what he's like, what's going to happen now is that these washers are coming out of your pay. So your pay is about to be docked for these washers and this dryer.
Oh, wow.
So what ended up happening is they were going to garnish my checks for the next couple weeks. But I made such an impression on that guy that they didn't do it. They didn't dock my checks. He thought about it for a while and he was just stunned that somebody would do that. He's like, he's heard of these type of things in movies. He's seen people say this in stories, but he's just never seen it done at basic training because everybody cares about themselves more than they do the team. So he's like, there's just no way that somebody would do that. So when I did it, he really took a liking to me. He did not garnish my checks. On top of not garnishing my checks, I'm sure he talked to my MTI and my MTI was like, that guy is leadership material. And that put me into a leadership role in basic training. I got to be the PT monitor and I was running the PT show. and I was the person in the morning time that yelled out the drill commands and everything else like that.
Mm.
So it was a really cool experience, and I actually had to beat the guy who already had that position. I had to show that I was better than him and I was more in shape than him, which wasn't hard because when I went there, I already was a blue belt right out the gate. A blue belt is one of their higher performers of running and push-ups and sit-ups. So I was already in the right crowd from day one, and I beat that guy. And then they was like, "Yeah, he's gonna be a PT monitor." I beat him by a whole minute on my run. So what happened was, I think my first run, I ran a mile and a half in 8 minutes and 30 seconds. So after I got 8 minutes and 30 seconds on that first run, I pretty much was the top dog. There was only one other person that did it better than me, and it was a Chinese guy. He did 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Crazy.
Mm.
So I couldn't keep up with his pace, but he couldn't do sit-ups and push-ups. So I beat him out overall. And for the rest of my training, that really set the tone right there, that moment in time. And for everything that I did, I always took that approach. It's my fault. It's my responsibility.
Oh, you cut out. Cut out, DC. You cut out. You cut out. I don't know if you hit a rough patch or oh,
Hey, am I back?
yeah, you back. You back.
Perfect. Oh, but now the audio's playing through my car and not my headphones.
I can hear you though.
Yeah. So like, I clicked something on my watch. Sorry about that.
Nah, you good. You good.
Dang.
Come
I'm
on.
trying to switch this audio source so bad.
Nah, I hear you. I hear you good though. I hear you good. I was gonna tell Steph that the time I was gonna try, I gotta find I gotta figure out because some of these channels got same name. I was gonna mod Stephanie up and tell her to time herself out for her timing. Yeah.
What'd she say? I missed it.
Where did I go? Hold on, where did it go? Where'd it go? Oh, she was saying Smoke from the Washing Machine Purple Series 2025. And then I was gonna tell Carrie to time herself out too, because she's just she's just in there doing her thing. Yeah. Yo, I swear to listen, man. I feel like this weekend, y'all, excuse my language, but y'all blue yellow this weekend. But this place never, ever calms down. It'll be quiet for a little bit, and then it'll just pick back up. And this weekend was an example of that. But I can't act like I wasn't enjoying it. Oh man.
What was happening this weekend?
Oh, I mean, it was just everybody was live. I was working.
Oh yeah.
I was working double shifts and stuff like that, so it was, keeping me entertained. That's the one thing about it. Like, when it's moving like that, like, and I'm working. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, cool. I just put the phone on, put my earbuds in, and unless I get a call for service, I'm just listening, and it was just one live from another live to another live. So it kept me busy, man. That's all. Cool. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Do you remember where you were left off at? Because I'm trying to look at the chat as well. Maybe you're having connection difficulties. Excuse me. Hold on. Sorry about that. Oh man. Again, thanks for stopping in, Keeper. Always very supportive. Of course, everybody that's in the chat now is always very supportive. So I want to salute all of y'all. Chat Lives Matter. Stephanie Collins, Carrie, of course. Mikey. Mikey's everywhere. Keeper, Spirit Mouse. Oh shit, I didn't see Spirit Mouse. What's going on, bro? Thanks for stopping in. Good chill brother too. He's from Chicago as well. Try to look through here. It's unadulterated. I messed up, man. I know unadulterated was let's see. I gotta go into YouTube. So like I'm in StreamYard, but I gotta go into YouTube as well and see. I know he was talking, but I didn't want to okay, yeah. Look like he's still here. Yeah, so unadulterated. I was thinking I know Steph had kind of kept you up on it, but I was thinking about the hey. Back at all right, how you doing, bro? You good? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry about that.
Nah,
I
you
know
good.
why I was doing that. It could have been I touched my watch again. I just took it off.
Nah, you good.
Yeah, I just took the watch completely off. But like, go ahead. You were saying?
Oh no, I was saying to unadulterated, if he's still here, I wanted to do the if he wants to do it with grown men, and then I got another brother named Andre Southgate who does boxing, and I wanted to see if they wanted to just, even if we all do stream to, you know what I'm saying, to each other, to your own channel, but we can talk about the fight as it's going round by round.
Right, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and you know, just because I'm gonna, you know, I think I'm gonna get the fight. It's been a while since I got a fight, so I think I'm gonna get the fight anyway.
Right.
And if we could do that, I'll make sure I make time for that, and we could just talk through round by round and see if we see if the judges agree with us, and then have a full discussion after that. And then the dude that on Southgate, he's in another country, so his time maybe different. But if he can do it, that's what's up. Shoot, I don't know if I have any more of my mods. I can't tell if any of my mods is in here. Do I have you modded up? I have you modded up. If you could put like Spirit Mouse, Carrie, Chat Live Matter, if you could put all are you able to do it from different or you just stuck on your phone, so you really can't mess with it like that?
I was just stuck on the phone right now still.
Okay. All right. No worries. I can't. I'm trying to think, like, how do I, let me see if I could.
Spirit bouncing them is what's up though.
Yeah, man.
Last call. I caught his show the other day. Super chill vibes.
Yeah, and but Last Call's name is so common that I can't when I went to look for it to mod him up, it was so many Last Calls, but I couldn't find his. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can carry.
There's somebody else I started watching recently, Cellulite Podcast.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting guy. Last night his live was super lit. It was the emotion that he put into his live, the things that he was saying while he was live. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, Cell goes hard. He had a series where he calls it "Burn It All Down."
Yeah.
And whatever the whoever or whatever the topic is,
yeah.
I'm glad I'm not on the radar.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, he has a way of talking with his emotions that it really is captivating. So I was kind of like, man, that's somebody I wouldn't want to beef with or go back and forth with.
And Cell like Chat Lives Matters, saying he do streams with Raw B. A lot of times they do, like they like those those particular sectors that they from, yeah, like you ain't. It's not
Yeah,
not for the faint of heart. Like you literally got to make sure that because the people are coming at you and you have to
yeah,
be able to defend yourself in real time.
and they,
I'm just gonna admit I ain't built for it. Bro. you know what I'm saying?
yeah. It's funny because Cell is from a place that's similar to where I'm from here, since he's from Detroit.
Yeah,
I guess so is Shaquem. But from what I understand, Cell is from Detroit, Detroit.
yeah.
Kind of like how we have a difference in between Chicago and our surrounding suburbs. It's the difference between being from a Chicago suburb versus being from Chicago.
Right.
And there is a unique video game history in between Chicago and Detroit. There's a fighting game community where we battle all the time in between Chicago and Detroit. But y'all don't want to know about that nerdy stuff.
Listen, I'm just gonna say this because I'm not. This is not for views. This is not this is not a planned out thing. Like whoever wanted to come up and talk, we just gonna talk about whatever we want to talk about. So,
Oh,
so I wasn't really like like I said, it was, just wasn't planned. So
gotcha.
I literally came from the gym. I got the night off. I showered. I'm like, I'm gonna go work on some stuff upstairs. Turn the AC on like when I jumped in the shower so it could be nice and cool when I came up here. And then, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really anything particular. I was just gonna work on some shows. Again, a lot of the stuff that I work on is just content and it never sees the light of day.
Right.
So, but it's just like a creative thing in me that I just like to mess around with stuff, mess around with thumbnails, mess around with AI. I wanted to actually Chat Lives Matter. I wanted to because I sent him. I don't even know where the link, the particular link is, but there's this AI. This amongst all the AI stuff, there's this particular website where they have They have a male and a female AI. I don't know what you call them, but like you get a free like half hour of talking with them and having them respond to you and responded. I had told the Chat Lives Matter. I think that'd be like a good lane for just a good show for him. And so like I was thinking about doing that. I said, if I come up here and nobody wants to come up, I'll just probably go find that AI thing and then just, chat with that and just give people the perspective from there. But once you hopped up, then I was just like, all right, cool. I'll just talk to you. So that's better than me to talk to a live person.
Right. I kind of wanted to do something very similar to what you were talking about with the AI, but in a different way. I just saw that on Instagram, there's all these AI horror channels that are popping up. They have these found footage type of video feels of weird stuff happening, and it's like body horror to an extent. And I actually was like, man, I should probably get up with another horror enthusiast and sit up here and just review these things. Cause like I was like, some of these things I've been seeing in the AI horror world is crazy, like sheer nightmare fuel. I was like, I've never seen anything like it. I was like, AI does horror pretty good or pretty well. It's geez.
That's the thing too. Like when it comes to like AI, and from what I understand is like it's constantly learning, and you know what I'm saying? So that's the why I'm saying it's scary that it's learning and people are constantly feeding it information and it's constantly feeding itself information and gathering information.
Right.
And things that it's able to do. Now this AI, this website, I got to look it up. In particular, it answers your questions and it talks back to you. So it's not just answering your questions via black and white type. It's a voice. It's a one female, one male. And you just bounce off. I saw. I'm gonna find it while I'm gonna find it while we're talking. But yeah, man, like and you know, I'm a big sci-fi fan, so of course I go back to I go to the Terminator and you know and how um what was it, a Skynet and all that stuff. So
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we living in those days.
Yeah, it and it's really interesting, and
Right.
I'm like hoping that I'm out of the workforce and I'm out of like you know I'm out of all of the shit that's going on, and I'm you know so I don't have to like you know I don't have to deal with what was actually
To
going on.
adapt.
Yeah,
Yeah, to it.
I could I could point my finger at y'all young people doing all this AI, you know, and be sitting on my couch somewhere. But it doesn't seem like that. It seems like okay, so let me just
I really don't know what's going to be the future of that because, like, there's still a bunch of jobs that require technicians, people that can actually fix things, touch things, and the kids and the teenagers, they really don't want to do this stuff, right? I'm finding more and more there's a lot of teenagers that are coming into this world that they don't want to be mechanics, they don't want to fix HVACs, they don't want to fix planes, locomotives, or none of that stuff. Like that's not what they want to do. They want to come out here and be social media influencers, and who wouldn't want to be one? When you see how much money some of these social media influencers make a month, I'm seeing crazy numbers come up for some people. And it's like when you see that as a child coming up in the world, why would you ever want to work a regular job when you can make that kind of money a year? Where you could be making what somebody makes at work at one of the most best or most prestigious jobs, they can make that money in like 3 months.
yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
it's
I
kind of
mean,
like,
yeah, I mean,
they
if they can do it, you know, long as if they're tapping into it and they have the mindset that they're gonna be go getters and make sure you know do it. Then if they could do it, then definitely uh,
right.
why not?
Like I agree, why not? So it kind of makes it as to where it's like it's an interesting thing where I'm like, I wonder where the future is gonna go. I mean, there's so many jobs that's out here available for people right now. Anything you can dream of or imagine that you want to do, it's open for you right now. A lot
Right.
of people got fired from their regular everyday jobs because of the PPP loan. For anybody that took that worked state, federal, and city jobs, they took the money and they didn't really have a business. They automatically got like put on leave or fired, and then their jobs became available. So it's like you can move into any city, state, industry that you want to go to, and federal industry. And there's plenty of positions that are open because so many people took that money under false pretenses. So then, not only are those jobs open, but there's also the fact that during that time, so many people weren't working with their hands and doing maintenance jobs or mechanical jobs that those jobs are open.
Right.
A lot of people got out of those. Law enforcement wide open because of the thing that happened with George Floyd. A lot of police officers quit and they didn't want to have nothing to do with it anymore. So there's a lot of law enforcement jobs on the table. Um, and it's just like the world is just out here now. There's so much that you can do, so many places that you can go. And I remember in the sector about, I think a year or two ago, I told everybody I was in a situation where I have all these skills, abilities, and I have the credentials now, and I could do just about anything. And that was a hell of a thought to sit there and be like, I can do any job. I've got the right credentials and the right stuff behind me. I just don't know what I want to do. And I was like, I was confused at that point. I was like, I don't know. Should I stay with maintenance jobs? Should I do the military for the next 20? Well, not 20, it would have been less than 20. But should I do that until that's over with? Should I go into law enforcement? I'm going to school for Homeland Security. Should I continue with that and go for Homeland Security? Should I try to do the YouTube thing and make that work? Like, it was a lot of stuff that I was just thinking about and I just didn't know where to go. And I was like, I wonder if this is how the teenagers that are coming fresh out of high school feel. Like, where do you go?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends as far as like state to state or even regionally, like what the schools are pushing. I know a couple of years ago, my teenage daughter, like they were like she was into like girls who code, and there was like a big push for coding and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
maybe because she's not into it at this point, but I don't see that. It seemed like there was like I went to a robotics competition with her up to in Pittsburgh. Like there was like a whole big push for coding and stuff like that and engineering. So there's things out there. I can't say that I'm tapped in. I'm only at this point. I'm only tapped into like actually what my daughter is into because
right.
I'm focused on that. But as far as like what the next generation was there for them, you probably would have like a better a better idea what's going on and what's up next.
Yeah, there's so much that's up next. Like working with AI, working with coding, cybersecurity is up next. Cybersecurity pays really well.
Mm,
Like they're putting up fantasy numbers over there. Software design is always doing good. But it's kind of like there's so many jobs that it's not even funny about what you can really get into. And I remember when my friend told me about what is it, cybersecurity, I just knew it wasn't for me.
mm,
That was the only thing. Like I'm not really super good with computer coding and being into that type of thing. I'm not really the most computer inclined friend out of my friends. All of them, they were able to build computers and stuff like that, and they were always going to Micro Center. And they were the type of guys where they were really into computers. I was more of the friend that was really into games, and I was really into like the weird stuff, like First 48, Cold Case Files, stuff like that.
yeah.
I was the nerd in a different direction. Like computers for me was not the direction, but I was into all the other stuff, and I was into the science fiction and stuff like that. So they kind of continued on with the computer coding lane, and they went into cybersecurity. And cybersecurity is really picking up for them. And
Yeah.
then the other one is an IT guy.
Yeah, I got a buddy that's in this. I think I'm gonna do it. I did like an audio interview with him. Got a
Hmm.
buddy that has his own cybersecurity company. I think I'm gonna. I'll
Wow.
reach out to him and it will be just for people to. And he had during my interview with him, he talked about how somebody hacked into a smart. It was a building that had like a lot of
Hmm.
smart stuff, and they hacked into a smart. I think it was a fish tank,
Hmm.
and hackers hacked into the fish tank. Do the and it was just like I was just like to get in, and he talked about a lot of times they doing these guys are hacking, and they're into just inconveniencing you. They're not even into like they're not looking to get into your bank account. They're not looking to get into anything specific. They're just looking into annoying you. They get into your
Yeah,
shit, making you change your passwords, making you do all this stuff.
a
So
different kind of trolling. And
yeah,
yeah, I heard
yeah,
about that.
it's essentially like that. But you know what? I'm gonna reach out to him. You just sparked that. I'm gonna reach out to him. I used to work with this kid, and he was like, without saying too much of what I do, he was like trying to create a how do I? He had done like my department had nothing to do with what he was doing, but he created this um, like a template for us to help. It would help us better with our job, but we
Hmm.
weren't the department wasn't progressive enough. And this is like 10, 15 years ago. The department wasn't progressive enough to be looking at his ideas. We were doing what we do. You know, how, like you work for somewhere, and this is how we do it because we've been doing it this way for years. And
Yeah.
anything outside of that is kind of like we're not doing that. So that's where we were at the particular time. So he had created this whole like like you know how like you see those FBI boards or like this person is connected to that person, connected to that person, and like those mob those boards where you can, and the guy at the top is this person. He had created
Right.
a whole spread of stuff, and again, like I said, the department at the time wasn't as progressive enough to really do that. But anyway, he went on to like anyway he has he's into cybersecurity, has his own question, I mean own company and all that stuff. So
Right.
so I think I'm gonna I'll reach out to
That's
Rich.
really cool.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him and see if he'll definitely do, because he actually when I interviewed him years ago for my audio podcast, he was like, hey, I'll do something every week. He was like that amped about it. But it's been a couple of years, but I will reach out to him and see. I'm gonna try to find.
Can't wait to hear that about that. That sounds really cool.
Yeah. So this app is called Sesame app, and it has two. It's Maya and Miles. Hold on, let me go back to. I'm gonna go to
I'm surprised you never did a crossover with Shakim about this software stuff and coding
well,
and whatnot.
I see. Like I don't. So if I did it with anybody, it would be me being the middleman, because
Hmm.
I don't. Um, so while what I was saying, the
Oh, I get it. You don't have to say too much. I get it.
yeah, like so I would be more of a middleman. Like I have connections with different people. Like
Right.
I have people in the that I could link with my channel in the stock market, and that, like you know about it. So I
Yeah.
share that with you. So I have stuff that I could connect to the channel. Again, a lot of it is about timing, because I don't really care about necessarily the audience and people who's going to tune in that particular thing. I feel like if you have information that you can share with people, put it out and let whoever's going to connect to it connect to it. I just haven't had the time tonight in particular.
Yeah.
I was off work, so I said let me just go live and see. And again, mostly um, leaving the chat open so people could talk about whatever. No restrictions on that.
Right.
And then if somebody wanted to come up and talk about whatever, then we could do that. I prefer the conversations. I appreciate you stopping in.
Man, no problem. Yeah, I definitely was heard the music and stuff, and I was like, man, I gotta do it. I was like, I wanted to call somebody anyway, because normally when I drive home, that's around about the time where I give people calls. A lot of times, I'm not really big into music and stuff like that, but I am big into conversations.
Yeah, yeah,
So I call people on these long trips home, and I just like call different people that I know, either friends that I have in the real world or friends that I have from this space even. And I'll give them a call and I'll talk to them about stuff and just talk to them about life,
right.
different things that I'm doing. Like they know what my real profession is in the civilian world and what my career is doing and where I'm going with it and all that kind of stuff. And the funny thing about it is I work one of those kinds of careers where it would be cool if I could talk about it on YouTube and tell people what I do. It has a lot to do with Black positivity, but for the most part, it's kind of like it's just not a safe environment to do it yet.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, but one day it will be, so I'll
Well,
be able to talk about it.
the idea for me though is to again just put it out, and the people that's there to receive it will receive it.
Hmm.
Now, my situation is different than yours, because I know you have a whole situation where you're trying to, what I'm saying?
Existential circumstance.
Yeah, yeah. So I get where you're going to be a little bit more guarded than I am. I don't have that, and I think that I would go different tactically. I would be different if I had that situation. But the
Hmm.
idea is to just put the things out, and whoever's there to receive it will receive it, and then that way you don't have to necessarily like, because like what your channel is to me, like I fuck with what you do. I fuck with the stories, the narration, the visuals. So like I'm not I'm not looking to try to keep it. I'm gonna try to word this. I'm just looking to consume the content. So
Right, I get you.
it's so regardless of whatever else, you and I probably have the same idea of, hey, listen, if there's a topic going on, if there's something funny, we're gonna make some comments, we're gonna do some jabs, we're gonna have some fun, but ultimately there's no harm in what we're doing. So
That's always been the thing. For me, that was never the intention, was the harm. I
right,
think I tell people all the time, I'm from a very rough and tough place. I'm not from Mayberry or somewhere like that. I am from Chirac. My approach to these things, my approach to roasting and all this other stuff, people say I take it too far or I go too excessive. But if they ever heard people in Chicago roast, we do something called a Gatling gun. When you do a Gatling gun roast, you continue to roast a person at rapid succession and you don't let up. You constantly keep going and you start vibing and mixing things, and it has a rhythm to it. And that's a very unique to Chicago thing. Along with that, there's also the thought process of get back here because of the city I live in. I don't know if you've noticed it, but you probably have. I do believe in a strong sense of principle of get back. If somebody has done something to you, I'm going to go at you until it's over with. But it's a never ending cycle here in Chicago with that because every time somebody gets back, that begets another get back. So when people ask, oh, what would it take to stop defrauding charlatans from talking shit? To be honest with you, just say you're sorry and move on. Just be like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this, this, and that. And it may have been interpreted the wrong way. We cool, and I just want to move on from it. And I'd leave it alone from there. As long as you don't go back on it, you don't start talking about it again, I'm done. But the thing is that people don't do it that way. They always want to take a side jab at you on the way out the door. They'll be like, I'm sorry, but yeah, you really are a bitch ass nigga. Like, where I'm from, you just can't let that ride. Like, you gave me no choice but to, you gave me no choice but to keep it going because come on now. Like, so and it's
listen,
like
I listen, I get it. You probably are at the age that I was when I lost a particular position because
mhm.
those exact words, somebody like in real time called me a bitch ass nigga and I lost my shit. I was 27, 28 at the time. I'm trying to think. No, it was before the planes hit in in New York. So was that 90, 91? Anyway, I wasn't 30 years old yet. And I didn't know how to handle like somebody saying those words. As goofy as it sounds, like
Mhm.
as somebody who's 52 now, when I look back at it, like I should have just walked away, but I lost my shit. And I tell this story all the time. At the time, I'm bald now. I had my braids at the time, but I didn't have my braids in my hair, and I had my hair pulled back in a ponytail. I have my hat on. I'm working security, and dude called me that, and I lost my shit. I ended up in a full fight. So when the cops came, now my hair is out, my shirt is
Yeah.
ripped. I'm threatening to kill everybody that's coming in contact with me, that's looking at me. I'm just crazy because I lost my shit. So, I remember that. So when if I'm giving advice or if I'm looking through a lens, I just try to remember when I was at my late 20s, early 30s. And again, like I said, I left the street when
Mhm.
I was 18, 19. I left the street life behind completely, well, let me say for the most part. And I was a family man. I was trying to transition into being a square. I had trouble with my jobs, you know, people saying certain things like I couldn't really like because I knew that there was particular times where if you said certain things that was your head. So like I was transitioning to a workforce where your managers and your supervisors were disrespectful and they said certain things, and I was like, yo, what? Like, so I had to get out of that, and it was like a transition, but I was almost clear until a dude called me a bitch ass nigga, and then I lost my shit. So I know that, and again, this is somebody at that particular time, I had a kid, a significant other, like I had people to answer to that I was responsible for, and I still couldn't just like turn for whatever reason. So I know and I understand, like at that age. So I try not to, when I'm in this position now that I'm older, I try not to look at somebody younger and be like, yo, you should just do this, you should just do that. That's the easy way to say it, but there is a perspective of, nah, I'm not, this person is not going to walk away after saying that. And again, as crazy as it sounds, as detrimental as it sounds, it's just like something about it at that particular time. It didn't resonate with me.
Right, I get it.
As I'm older, I can look back and be like, I probably should have done something better. I probably should have just walked away. But I didn't do it at that time, so I can't get on. I can't get on somebody young that didn't walk away. I can only say, hey, this might work for you because it might not work for you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, nah, man. It's
for me, I learned that for me, I'm selectively able to understand how to compartmentalize that. So like in public, in person, I'm able to compartmentalize that way better than I ever could on the internet. In person, I understand what the cost is and what I'm actually putting up on the table here, because I've done it so many times before. Throughout my entire high school career, I gotten into fights based off of roasting, words, stuff like that. People got mad and heated that they wasn't able to go back and forth with me in a game of words. And then they got to the point where they wanted to fight. Now this person then tried to steal off me, or they have stole off me. Now the stage is set and it's on. Like, and I've lost so much in behind doing that. And with that being the case, I even did it in my professional career later on in life a few times. But luckily for me, I was so good at the career that they kind of was able to overlook these random hood moments, or as Boondocks called it, my nigga moments. So like they were able to overlook that and be like, all right, cool. He acted out a little bit, but he's rough around the edges in this particular field. When I got to the military, it was different though. They instilled this gentleman's art to it. We have an argument, you and I, we can't get past it in words. We can't come to a civil agreement. Well, you know what? We could do a flashlight party. Let's take this out back. And we gonna solve this the way that men should solve this who are in a position where we're fighting a war. Let's get it on. And they do it that way. So there is still fighting even in the military. It's just organized and there's some honor and discipline to it about how we go about it. I'm not just gonna steal off this guy while we're in uniform. I'm gonna wait until we both off. We gonna meet somewhere and we gonna handle this business, and we gonna have a crowd of people so that they can tell and witness what happened here. And after this, we gonna shake each other's hand and have a beer, and we gonna be on the good terms. So like that's kind of what I've seen when it came down to the way that the military can handle those situations physically. And I've been a part of a couple of those. I had at least 2 or 3 of those under my belt. I think I won them all. Fortunately, luckily, it wasn't like that in high school.
Beating your chest, beat your chest, bro. Beat your chest.
In high school, it wasn't like that. I was definitely getting worked out a couple of times.
Listen, man.
So,
if you've been in scraps, you got your fair share. There's
yeah.
no. Like, yeah, I would love to tell you, I would love to get up here and say I won every last scrap I got into, but that's not the facts.
Right.
Sometimes I had to learn the hard way. Like, and I'm like I said, like I tell people, I'm a good sized guy. I'm 6'3". I'm a big dude. sometimes I had to learn from somebody who was smaller than me or shorter than me or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be some easy work," and then they told me otherwise. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You,
It was
you
funny because I was one of the shorter guys that always gets into it with taller guys. Like me being 5'7", it's like I'm not crazy tall at all. But the thing that I had underneath my belt was I got fast hands, and I learned how to box since I was the age of 12. So I've been boxing for a while, and I got really, really quick hands. And the thing is that I like to overwhelm people with flurries and stuff like that. Now, when I got heavier as I was in the military, I no longer did the whole boxing thing. Instead, I got into wrestling and Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. So I changed my whole fighting strategy to I can grapple somebody and I'm stronger than them. I don't have to box anymore.
right.
So when I got into my scraps there, it was really easy to solve those. It was real quick because a lot of people don't know where to go once they get grabbed. They don't know what to
Yeah,
do.
fast hands, yada yada yada. What were you saying about being 6'3" and a good size
Oh, you
brother?
were so loud.
What was you were saying about being
Damn,
six
she almost
three
blew
and
my
nice
eardrum
size?
out.
Oh,
Yeah,
am I?
yeah.
I'm just talking into the laptop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you was
So
loud a
first,
second ago when you first came in.
Well, yeah, I turned down the volume. My fault. Thanks for letting me know. Is it
I was
better?
like, God damn.
nah, you good. But first, I wanted to talk with Child Life Matter. You know, you right. I don't think we supposed to sit on the sidelines. I just because of like when I go back to the areas or when I'm in certain areas where I grew up at or you know what I'm saying, and I see the way the young boys look at me. Me personally, I'm not. I don't know if it's a fear or if it's like I don't want to get into it, but I generally, it's easier to do on the internet. But in general, I try not to like come, talk to them or say something in a way that, because they looking at me like I'm food, and they don't give
Yeah.
a shit about what I did. Like I could tell you, man, when before this I used to be out here. They don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm saying they out there
Nah.
doing their thing. So I just tiptoe. It's easier to do on the internet. It's like me and DC talking, and we're a generation apart. So I can have the conversation with them. So it's easier to do it that way. But I tiptoe around these young boys. Plus, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't have the artillery that they have. So I'm losing in these situations. You know what I'm saying? I see like these Kia boys and all this stuff. They are posting what they got and they doing, and I'm not equipped for that. Like if
I
I
ain't got no switch.
if I could have a conversation with you on the internet, then I could do that. If I go to a particular like if they have like a function where people are intermingling and I could just get myself next to some of the young boys, then I can have the conversation. But as far as like, I'm trying to get home. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, that's what I got on too. I was just trying to get home after a while. Like when I came back here to Chicago, I was like, man, it ain't worth it. These people are willing to put it all on the line for nothing.
You need to leave Chicago, defrauding.
Eventually.
No, like soon. And I actually literally be worried about you, and you still have that. I think it's hard to leave that like tough guy mentality around when you still have to live in that environment. And I be worried about you. I do.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Well, it's a scary place. It's really hard to describe the environment in Chicago to people that haven't lived there without sounding like you trying to spin a tale. But I've lived like different places. It's a very, very hostile environment. Even when it's not like murder, it's just very, very up all the time. And I think that and I've told you Fraud in this before, people that live there, you can't really come to terms with how unnecessarily aggressive that environment is until you leave it. And I just really hope you get out of there. And I know that you're making advances in your personal life that are tying you to Chicago. And I just want to encourage you to keep looking for opportunities like away from Chicago.
Well, trust me, that's definitely been on the table. Like I've told most people, like I realize that I have so much I can do now that I can move
Yeah.
somewhere else, be just as successful, make the same amount that I make now, if not more. I just gotta apply myself and be willing to go out on the limb into uncertainty.
That's right. And
Because I,
Chicago is so incredibly expensive outside of New
yeah,
York. Like you just, I got a parking ticket in Atlanta. The parking ticket was $10.
Wait. Would you park at $10?
Yeah,
Okay, I thought
it
they
was
start
$10.
they start at 20.
Well, I mean, this was some years ago. I live in the suburbs now, but yeah, so now years later, it's no $20 parking tickets in Chicago.
yeah.
That's not a thing. So the fact that you was even shocked and then said 20, I know how defrauding felt hearing that. Like, come again?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm saying but I haven't gotten a parking ticket because now everything is on camera and stuff. So if you pull up and you're not necessarily parking, you just sitting there for a little while. They got these, I don't know, they send you, they mail you or whatever. Like you were sitting here at such and such
Wow.
time.
See, they don't even have cameras down here. It's no red light cameras.
No, it's cameras everywhere, and I'm in Bridgeport, Connecticut. There's cameras
Mm.
Oh,
everywhere.
I got to tell you, I used to live in Chicago with those cameras. Not having those cameras is noise.
Every
Yeah, no.
camera down here is $100 guaranteed. If you get caught speeding, you're gonna pay $100. If you get caught speeding multiple times that day, you can rack up $300 to $400 worth of tickets just in one day.
Yeah,
Also,
I got like a $300 ticket for speeding on the highway. I did that.
mm,
Well, and I used to get speeding tickets. I don't anymore. But the thing in Chicago, I don't know if this is true in Connecticut, but it's not just the cost of the ticket, because you can just like not run lights. You know what I mean? But the thing in Chicago is the city is so out to get you, right? That they done shorten the length of the yellow light to like milliseconds. It'd be like green, yellow, red. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like it's like they trying to, it's like fucking Simon Says, you know what I
I
mean?
got
So it's so dangerous. Like, dude, it's been linked to all these deaths, right? So down
yeah.
here where they don't have the cameras, you could take a bath in the yellow light. You know what I mean? It's just like luxurious, plenty of tickets, and
I got she didn't give me the ticket, but she pulled me over. She was behind me and she was like, you ran the first yellow light and the second yellow light. I was like, no, you're not getting. I was like, this is yellow light. I was slowing down. I was behind it's like a tractor trailer and he was going slow.
yeah.
So I just went through it. And she, but
hmm
yeah, them yellow lights are quick. It's boom, boom, boom. You're right.
These
Yeah, it's nice to
parking
live in a
tickets be
city where it's not out to
175.
get you. What defrauding? I'm sorry.
These parking tickets be like 175 here, I think, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, no, like so. I'm thinking about like downtown. It's like I said, like 20 or something, 20, 30.
Chicago, you got to get this shit called city stickers. Do they have that where you live?
Nah, you.
It's just like an automatic ticket. Like you just got to pay it. Like what's it? Once a
Cities-
year defrauding?
Yeah, city stickers was started by the mob here, and it was a way for them to collect money and money launder. But it's a custom that never went away.
And how
And-
much is it now?
It's guaranteed $100 for one of the tickets, and the other one is $175 for the
No, I
other
mean, how
ticket.
much is it to buy the sticker?
It's $100 to buy that first sticker, but you need
Okay,
two.
got you. Yeah,
You need
Wait,
the
wait,
window
wait, wait.
sticker and you need the license plate.
the
sticker.
license plate sticker.
Hold
Man, I'm
up
trying
for a
to tell
second.
you
Hold up. When you say buy a sticker, what do you mean by that?
exactly what the fuck does that mean. Go on, tell them.
what are you
What
talking
does
about?
that
Like I
mean?
said, it was the money laundering thing that they did a long time ago, where you have to have your sticker on the car to say that you're registered in the city of Chicago to park your car on the street. If you don't have that sticker on your front window, you are not allowed to park your car on the street. If you don't have a sticker on your license plate, then you are not able to drive that car in the state of Illinois. So if they catch you without any one of those two stickers while in motion or while you're parked on a street, or even you could be parked in a parking lot with the license plate
Yeah.
sticker being wrong, you will be fined a crazy amount of money and you still got to go get the sticker.
Or they'll
So
tow
these,
your shit. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. Nah, there's nothing like that. I know I've seen people car booted in their driveways, but
hmm
that's
It's
I think that's a
specifically a
tax thing.
Chicago thing. Yeah, it's so many different Chicago things. But let me explain it a better way. Let me explain it another way. I'm sorry. The city stickers in Chicago, right? You know how in your state you got to go buy your license and registration and your license plate. You got to pay for that.
Yeah.
In Chicago, it's like you got to pay for a receipt. It is called a sticker. So
yeah,
you got to pay your
that happens
registration.
annually
Then
every
you got to
year.
buy a sticker that says you paid your registration. Real talk.
And
So
once your car is no longer new, you have to go to the emissions every year to prove that your car isn't a busted down, rusty piece of junk.
Well,
That's
that's
cars in
federal.
carbon.
Everybody has to do that. Yeah.
Mm. But that's on top of our sticker system.
Yeah.
More money out the pocket.
so wait a minute. So for me, you register. My registration is good till I just looked as 2027. Other than paying like the little 25 cents or whatever when you go somewhere where they got the parking meters, which now takes credit cards and all that stuff, and
Mhm.
the sticker that you get to go into the parks, because now you got to pay, I think it's like $15 to be able to go into the local parks. They have that seasons, like from like May till September, you got to have a park sticker. Other than that, there's no like in paying your normal taxes. There's nothing else. It's like
Chicago is the land of there's always something else.
Yeah.
It's so many different layers of fuck you in Chicago. It's
Because that window sticker does not pay for me to park downtown. It does not pay for me to park at Lakefront or anywhere in Hyde Park. Like, you still have to pay all of those other parking places that you go to. That
yeah, and
window
if you live
sticker
in a
is just
neighborhood
for,
that has permits, you still have to buy a parking permit.
yes.
But I'm just saying, like, what if what if you just going downtown for a job interview? You just
Yeah,
wanna,
You
you
better
have to
take the
pay.
bus. That's why people just be taking the bus.
this is
But
crazy.
I
you have a car.
highly suggest don't take the bus and train in Chicago. Ain't worth it. Depending on where you're coming from,
When
ain't
you
worth
going
it.
downtown,
Ain't worth it now.
well,
Nowadays,
see,
the
I lived over in South Shore, so it's a straight shot for me.
right. I didn't, so I had to get on this horrible thing called the red
Yeah.
line.
Yeah,
So
that's different.
this red line thing that you get on, they also interchange it with the bloodline because that's where they rob people, beat you up. You could possibly get killed. That's by going downtown because anywhere from I want to say 95th down to 63rd is ass whooping central. And
Yeah.
that's a long time to be on the train waiting to get your ass whooped and hoping
And see,
it's
yeah,
not
I'm
gonna be
talking
you.
about the bus, not the train. The train is different, right?
Yeah,
The train is different. I said the bus.
it wouldn't be feasible for me to take the bus from where I'm at. You
Yeah.
have to take the train.
So,
It's no reason to live in Chicago. None.
all right. Okay, so
It's like the Hunger Games. You just waiting.
Well, it's like people, and you hear it in Defrauding's voice. People get this sense of like machismo, right? Like I survived, like I can do this. And it's a very like I've been there. There is a sense of like foolhardy pride that comes from surviving this fucking gauntlet every year, right?
But it's not real. It's just luck. It's just luck of the draw.
It's a certain amount of intelligence and a certain amount of luck, but it's just it's taking years off your life. Again, it took me when I moved down here, and I had lived in Philly. I've lived around, but the last time I left Chicago, it took me a good 6 months to realize I was like relaxed.
Or
Like
safe.
I wasn't watching everybody all the time. I wasn't afraid everybody was about to rob me. Like I was just like chilling, and it felt so good. It felt so
But-
good.
But so my thing is like, you guys are you guys are doing okay for yourself. So so my and you know, I'm strange like this, where like I can't feel great and okay when I see like people like struggling, and like in my city there was a news story where this food pantry had lost funding or whatever because the floor, like they repaired the floor, so now it's going to be opening back up, but they don't have enough food to give out, you know, to the people. And so when I think of these things, when this stuff that you're telling me, so like I think of like, I'm not thinking about you guys who, and it's not a shot at you guys actually have made a way for yourself, so you're going to be quote unquote okay, just quote unquote okay.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that
we know what you mean,
right? So the people that actually are not going to be okay, that actually have to, you know, work 2 jobs and like, and rely on government programs, like how the hell do they actually function in a city like Chicago?
Sometimes they live over in like the Robert Taylor Homes, Parkway Gardens, different areas like that, and they basically stay in a project type scenario.
They live like savages. Yeah.
And they're amongst all those wolves that I try to avoid when I get onto the public transportation. So it's one thing, I encounter them when I get on the bus. I encounter them when I go to work in certain areas, or if I go to work in certain neighborhoods, but I don't live with them. When I go home, I go to a completely different area where that's not going on at, and it's pretty relatively safe. I can walk through the neighborhood and not think that I'm about to get beat down. But they live that reality 24/7.
Yeah.
And it's like they're in a place where all those people that are robbing people and doing horrible things to people, they live with them. Like
they are them.
They are them too. But some of them are not them, because you know there's plenty of nerds and plenty of people like that who are just regular squares that happen to just live there, and they're among these people that's like that. And they just have to survive and, like, you know,
until they
navigate
age out.
around them, right? Until they age out and get opportunities.
Yeah, this is why, like, y'all gotta excuse me, I'm getting a little frustrated about this shit. This is why, like, when I talk to people and they place the blame on the little people who take advantage of a little bit of food stamps or you know, what is it called? You get help rental
Section 8 and
like when they take advantage of this. This is why I don't blame people for doing this type of stuff, because when I hear, and I'm not saying I'm well off, but I'm in a comfortable position because for whatever reason I'm in a comfortable position. But when all this stuff comes in, when I go shopping and I see the price of this and the price of that and all this stuff, I often wonder, like, how are the people who don't have what I have, how are they actually getting along? How are they actually, because they don't, again, and these are, there was a couple of, I had this live stream set up where I went to the supermarket and this guy stopped me, and I don't carry cash, and that's kind of been like my little, you know, I don't carry cash type of thing when people come to me and ask for money. But like if I'm getting McDonald's for my son, or if I'm in the supermarket, I'll buy you some groceries. You know what I'm saying? I'll do that, but I'm not going to give you cash. I don't have any cash. And this guy gave me this random list. It was like ranch dressing. It was like 4 things that just didn't, like, I knew he wasn't scamming me. It was such an odd of things that he wanted, and I was like, "Are you sure? Like, that's what you want?" He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Look, I'm not homeless. I work. I just need some stuff." And he had a backpack. And when I came out, I gave him the stuff. He got on the bus with his backpack and went about his business. But it was such a random group of like stuff from the supermarket that I was just like, he's not scamming.
He fraud. And are you with me that he was still scamming them?
Listen, he might have been, but like, who's scamming you for like
milk and eggs and
Caesar
potted
salad
meat.
dressing.
Well,
Like-
in where we're from, crackheads will get stuff like that, and then they walk it over to the barber shop and sell it.
Well, listen, he may have done that. So
Like they be
you-
Or
wanting
they just rob
deodorant,
you.
ranch dressing, stuff like that. That's
You-
like high. Everybody uses ranch dressing, deodorant, that type of stuff.
You might be 100% right, and if I could find, and I'll share it with you if I could find it, because I had a live stream set up. It was
Yeah, I'm
called
curious
that.
now. Yeah,
It-
I can
it-
look at
it-
the list and tell you.
it threw me off so much that I was like, "What?" It was like it was just like random stuff. And while I'm talking, let me see if I can go on my camera while I'm talking about it.
Where we're from, it's kind of wild that when you go out and be generous like that, sometimes it can be a good interaction, but they can also be trying to line you up. And it's happened
Yeah.
to a lot of people where it's like, you reach into your pocket to try to give them $5, and the moment that you reach into your pocket, you're unavailable to defend yourself,
Yeah.
and now you getting your ass whooped, and they gonna rob you.
Well,
Like,
I was thinking that too, defrauding. Like when he brought up the idea of like being uncomfortable with all the human suffering, like that's why I couldn't move to California, because their homeless people are so like sad and pathetic, laying all over the sidewalks, dying from fentanyl. But in Chicago, the homeless population is more of a threat. It's a more hostile. You don't have enough time to really access all that empathy, because these people will like rob you and kill you. So
yeah,
I'm a
and-
very empathetic person, but when I'm in Chicago, it's not that type of time. It's just not.
and they segregate them in Chicago. Everything is segregated in Chicago. Your whites, your blacks, your Mexicans, Hispanics, Chinese, everybody is segregated, and that includes our homeless. Our homeless are mostly the heaviest concentration down by Skid Row and down by
Yeah.
any of the homeless shelters. In our actual neighborhoods, I would be hard pressed to find somebody on my street in any block around my house where
right.
somebody's homeless.
They're just
They're just not
crackheads.
there.
That's true. And
Right.
defrauding, that's something that really bothers me about other cities. Like in Chicago, in Atlanta, they don't segregate their homeless. So they're just wandering all around, kind of like ruining all the parks and the tourist spots. It's really hurt their downtown. And I feel like Chicago kind of manages it in a much smarter way. You know what I mean? Because it's like they have all those services in that one area. So, I wish there weren't any homeless people, but it's really hard to have people invest in your city and have corporations and business come to your city when the homeless is just wandering all about.
And what's crazy is in some cities, they've made stuff to make being homeless even more miserable, like New York.
Yeah.
They made these different
Hostile
like sidewalks
architecture.
and things,
Yeah.
where they
Yeah.
can't lay on them and stuff like that. I was like, that's wild. Here in
Yeah.
Chicago, they made it more comfortable to be homeless.
Yeah, that's
Like-
what I'm saying. Just make it comfortable in the one spot. Right.
Yeah, they made it as to where they have warming stations where you can turn on a
Yeah.
lamp and it heats you up, and
Yeah.
you can lay underneath that on the bench and nobody's gonna bother you. Police aren't gonna bother you, and you can sleep there and stay warm overnight so you don't die in the winter. Like,
Yeah, real
I
talk.
just thought it was amazing.
I would definitely prefer there were no homeless, but I think Chicago, if it's one thing they figured out how to do better than a lot of other cities, is manage that situation, because these
could
other
also live in-
cities like California, everywhere in Cal, they just got the homeless ruining residential communities and shit. They just wander.
Yeah.
Like, it don't seem like it take a rocket scientist to put all the shelters on one block.
Here in Chicago, if you're homeless, you could also live in the parks, right? So the parks
Yeah.
basically have all this green land, all these tree lines and
Yeah.
stuff like that. If you got lucky enough to get a tent, which is very easy to do here in Chicago as a homeless,
Right.
they give those out at the shelter. You
Yep.
can get a tent, get a whole setup, set yourself up by one of the lagoons, and there's
Yep.
actual fish that you can catch in the lagoon. And if you're homeless, you can fish for them and eat it. If you're
Well,
just a
and it's
regular
like
person, you have to
they-
have a license.
And they have the sense to have like all those one little soup kitchens in that one area, so they
Yeah.
don't even have them in all the parks. They all concentrated in like that one, like this is the park for the homeless and this is the park for the tourists. Like it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Real quick. I'm gonna just leave you guys up here. I gotta run to the bathroom.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
like, I thought that was the good side of Chicago when it comes to like how they take care of the homeless, how they figured out how to get them the services they need, how there's like these open pantries that they can go to that have all these vegetables, fruits, and stuff like that. And there's so much food that they end up throwing out half the food because there wasn't enough people to get it.
well, I think a
So
lot of that has to do with like the Catholic charities and also
yeah,
all those old school millionaires, the Carnegies and the Rockefellers and the who else was it up there? It'll come to me. But the Chicago had all them old school like benevolent millionaires that set up all those organizations. And they still funded a lot of those charities and a lot of those good works in Chicago to this day. So a lot
hello,
of that
can you still hear
actually
me?
coming from the state is actually coming from the Catholic charities in Chicago. What you mean they starting to criminalize the homeless? They've been criminalizing the homeless. It's again, I couldn't live in California with the way they do the homeless. That shit is it's a lot. Now I'm the only one on the panel. I think I'm gonna do it live tomorrow or the day after. So I got some appointments tomorrow. I'm gonna do a live where I revisit a show I did about how child-free women are the happiest. I heard this weirdo bitch was going around lying when I was out the sector for a minute, telling people I said that all mothers are miserable. Some weirdo shit. I don't know what this woman's problem is with me, why she be lying. But I think I'm gonna revisit the child-free woman thing and what I actually said about child-free women, not what Josephine was lying and saying I said. And I want to look at the thing that's going on between Ashanti and Nelly, and just talk about women not having these panic babies and like why that shit is a terrible idea to be rushing and having a baby just because you're 40 and you don't have no kids. Because Ashanti out here, poor Ashanti. Yeah, California needs to get their shit together. California kind of seemed like a terrible place. They got all those rich people. They got all those billionaires, all those tech geniuses, all these super smart people, all the money in the world. California got so much fucking money. And they can't figure out how to build no affordable housing. California is like Babylon. That shit is I don't know how people live out there. That shit seems horrible. Like, I hate to say it, but to have all that money and not be able to come up with no housing, it just seemed like it must be like terrible people out there. Like, not every single person, but it can't be a lot of good people in California. All them intelligent people, all that fucking money, all that food. They grow all the food. They got all the money. They got all the land. They got oceans and it's fucking paradise. And they can't feed nobody?
Sorry about that. Old man stuff. You gotta drink a lot of water, so I had to go to the bathroom. Sorry about that.
I've been trying to get my water up too, brother. I
It's
feel like my skin ain't been glowing like it normally does. I got to get my water up. I've been peeing every 5 minutes too.
It's like if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, and then you get on this whole like, yeah, I'm gonna drink my water.
Yeah.
You start drinking it, then your sleep is interrupted, all that shit. So
I'm not that old yet. I could sleep through the night. Is that more of a man thing?
sorry, you caught me in the middle of a sip. You caught me in the middle of oh my god. Oh yeah, no, I don't know if it's a man thing or not, but I know that like I go through these periods where I'm like, I ain't drinking my water, and not because I don't want to. I just life just does that.
Yeah,
you need
yeah.
like yo, I ain't drink no water today.
You got to
And then,
stay on it. Yeah.
yeah, and then I get, okay, I get that big
Same.
bottle, and yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
every hour I'm gonna have an alarm, like do all this BS that you do, and then like when I try to go to like what is this? Like it's 1:15. I get a little nap. I gotta pick up my son in the morning, but like I know I'm probably gonna get close to 5 hours sleep, but it's gonna be interrupted because I've been drinking. I went to the gym. I drank probably like 60 some ounces of water, and then I've been sipping now.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but I have to force myself to drink water when I'm sitting up under air conditioning all day.
AC is not the problem for me. It's just like when I get outside of my bed. So up here where my studio is, it has an AC here. My bedroom has AC. The living room, I got fans. So like when I'm in that living room, because it was an addition that the people that put in before I bought this house, they put in, and it's not properly, it wasn't properly, it didn't have proper heat and air conditioning. So that's just, I'm not gonna mess with that. That's just two fans in there. When I'm there, yeah, I need a lot of water. But in AC,
yeah, you see what I mean? Yeah, but when you're cool, you don't get thirsty as much, right?
Yeah, no, I don't. When I'm in the AC, no, I don't. Up here, yeah, but I had planned to be sipping tonight, so it wasn't even like, I knew I was going to be getting a little dehydrated because I was going to be sipping Remy while I was working. And I did nothing that I said I was going to do. I came up here, I'm like, I'm going to work on thumbnails. I'm going to let people chat in the chat. But people started coming in. I got like, oh, let me talk to people. And I ain't did shit that I was supposed to do. I'd rather talk to y'all anyway.
Well, the chat's almost empty now, so it's basically just you and me. And we were talking about your bedroom, and I was thinking, brother.
See now, did you think of what, thumbnail? You think about how do you get on the thumbnail?
Thumbnail?
Yeah, I'm thinking outside of this particular show. When you say anything, you in particular end up on thumbnail or on a show.
Oh, anyway.
and anything next to you.
Maybe one day I'll outlive that. I don't know. But anyway, back to you being 6'3".
All right, let's talk about it.
I'm 5'10".
Wow, really? Yeah, I've been 6'3" since I've been about 14 years old. So
really?
Yeah, I got a couple of cousins who were like 6'7", 6'8", so everybody thought I was gonna, but I got 6'3", and then that was a wrap for me.
And then it just stopped.
That was it for me.
So if I was to stand next to you, would I just come to like your shoulder?
5'10", probably. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think in relation to basketball when I'm on the court with basketball players. 5'10". Yeah, a little. Nah, you would be like probably my chin. You'd probably be right around my chin.
So you're 5 inches taller than me.
Yeah, so you'd be right around my chin. So I got a big head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 5'9" and some change. Maybe I'm stretching a little bit.
You sneaking it in there?
I'm between 5'9" and 5'10".
All right, so okay, I'm 6'2" and 3/4, a little more than 3/4. And when I put my sneakers on, I'm like 6'4". But yeah, I'm roughly 6'3". I've been this tall since, like I said, since I've been 14. I was really proud that I was able to put my father borrowed my sneakers one day, and I felt like a man. He said, "Let me use your sneakers." That's about all he did at that particular. We got a great relationship now, but he wore my sneakers, and I felt like a man when he put my sneakers on.
I could see how that would make you feel like a man. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, because you're supposed to fill your dad's shoes, but he was filling yours.
Well, his girlfriend bought me the shoes, so I don't know how that works out. His girlfriend bought me the shoes, and then he was. There was a lot.
Yeah,
I promise you, if if the internet wasn't what it is, I promise you, as boring as I am and as calm as I am, there's a whole story. You know, they say the duck feet is flapping under the water, but he looks calm on the top. There's a whole story.
We need the beard talk stories. I'm just saying, it's not just me. The sector needs it.
No, I'll definitely do it. I just, you know.
You will?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's time. So when I was talking to Defrauding about doing bullshit up until in my 20s, so about 27, 28, like, because of that, I've been like determined, like, since then, to like get a good work reputation, to get a, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I haven't learned to like pull back and say, yo, you good, working till your retirement type of thing. I'm like, nah, I gotta keep getting it. So I haven't learned that yet.
When you go to work, do you pack a lunch?
Depends on the day. Some days, if I got a good night's sleep, then I'll pack a lunch, especially for my 16-hour days. I'll pack a lunch.
Oh, let me tell you, if I had a man like you, I would love to pack your lunch, brother. I would make you the most special lunches.
See now, you
I would get you like one of those manly pails, and it would be all type of little different treats in there with the drinks. I would love to pack you lunch every day.
Listen, and I'm not saying that I definitely really enjoy a packed lunch, but you are looking for YouTube purposes. You are looking to get, because we haven't got there yet, where certain people have not decided to leave you alone. We have not gotten there yet. You are.
Can we not worry about certain people?
Okay, all right, let's just go. Let's go.
So back to me, imaginary packing you imaginary lunch.
All right. So I am I eat for the most part, my diet is ketogenic. So let's talk about the ketogenic lunch that you were packing.
I don't know that much about it. I know it's like, I think it's like meat and fat and.
Yeah. Now I don't go searching for the fat. I don't, like I used to before, like add extra butter and all this other stuff. I don't do that anymore. I just eat what I eat, but it's very limited rice. There's no rice. There's no pasta. There's no very little bread unless it's like a ketogenic.
Okay.
Bread. And even then, I'm a little wary about, because sometimes a lot of it's marketing. So it would be broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, kale. Those would be the main things that I'm eating.
I can make you that
on the side. Other than that,
what kind of meat?
Whatever meat. Ground beef. It could be red meat. It could be ground turkey. Definitely bacon. Pork. I'm not afraid of pork. Any kind of seafood. Like I got a bunch of mussels and calamari, like frozen, like anything meat wise is just.
So I think here's the, okay, now that I know a little bit about what you like, I don't know that much about keto, but if I was gonna pack you a lunch, you know what a bento box is?
Say again.
A bento box.
I can't say that.
So it's the way that Japanese people pack their lunch. So it's like a lunch pail, but it's like vertical instead of horizontal, and it's got a bunch of layers.
Yes. I can
so
see
instead
that.
of eating like a bunch of one thing, you have a bunch of little different flavors and treats.
Right. So you would have I'm looking at it now, and it's like the main thing would be the meat, and then you would put the little other stuff.
Yeah.
around.
So like on your little bottom layer, I might make you some roasted broccoli and cauliflower with maybe some like chili sauce or something with an umami flavor for the base. And then in the next layer, it may be some type of chili sauce or something spicy. I don't know if you like spice. And then on the next layer, it could be like the beef layer, and it could be like strip steak, maybe cut up or something with I don't know, what will you do for somebody with keto? I don't know. I would have to learn more. But then over that, you could have like the pork layer. And it could have like, some sausages and some bacon. Like the whole thing with keto is to have like a bunch of fun. It's like unwrapping presents every day instead of just like, one thing.
Yeah. The idea
So do you
is
eat fruit and stuff?
maybe like strawberries, blueberries, but as far as
I would like the
oh,
low sugar stuff. Yeah. Okay.
avocado, low glycemic.
Oh yeah, see that's
that-
good for bento because you want to have like a savory layer, and then you want to have like a meat layer, and then you want to have something refreshing.
for the most part, and then I'll have for the most part water, but I do enjoy a good cup of coffee. So if you got one of those,
Yeah, I would definitely make you a thermos with coffee. What else do you like to drink? And let me tell you, I make great coffee.
Yeah, no, listen. No, I gotta tell you this because I make a good. There's one thing I do. There's two things I could make that I know that I can make a really good cup of coffee, and I can make a good salsa chicken. Anything else, I would say is mid and depending on the day. But I
Okay.
can make a good salsa chicken and a good cup of coffee. So coffee is one of those things that when people talk to me about coffee, like I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta
We can
taste
talk
it.
about our coffee methods. I make very good coffee. And do you know, I almost never end up dating guys that drink coffee. And I'm like this great coffee making chick. And I hardly ever get the chance to make coffee for a man.
No,
But me, I fresh grind my coffee every day. I buy high quality, either Jamaican or Hawaiian whole bean coffee, low acidity. I like to do a medium grind, and I like to do a pour over method, right? Very clean, very fresh. I use a paper filter.
okay.
So, filtered water, just, clean, wonderful coffee. How do you make your coffee?
Well, it depends because I do have a Keurig machine. So
Ew.
for the most part, I definitely use the Keurig.
Did you just tell me you make good coffee and then tell me you use a Keurig?
No, but so when I say that I make it coffee, remember I'm 52 years old. So when I started with coffee, there was no such thing as a Keurig. It was the grinding your beans
Yes.
and having that little the coffee machine made that little noise.
The percolator?
Yeah, and the smelling of it. So
Yes. Mhm.
yeah. So I'm not, and I have a cousin of mine makes coffee. He has a coffee brand, Ethiopian coffee and stuff like that. So
Okay, Ethiopia makes good coffee, yeah.
yeah. So I won't promise you when I tell you that I can taste a good cup of coffee.
And you're drinking Keurig?
Well, the Keurig is because my work schedule and the like the comfort of like, let me just make something on the go.
Well,
But
that's why I like doing the pour over method.
Yeah, that's so I'm not averse to pour over. I'm not averse to grinding your own coffee, buying your own coffee, but I am like modernized. I can admit that I am modernized to where I don't make, for the most part, because I'm on the go. I'm not making a pot of coffee because I'm not going to drink a pot of coffee.
No, me neither. You should look up the pour over method. It's you can make 1 cup at a time, but the Keurig, it's like stale coffee. It's pre-ground. There's a lot of plastic and waste. And the thing I don't like about, I got a Keurig machine for Christmas, and I traded it in because I don't I like things that are easy to clean.
Mm.
And so my pour over coffee maker, it's basically just shaped like a funnel, right, at the right angle, and you put a coffee filter in it, you put in the coffee, and you just pour water over it.
Yep.
And like you have to pour the water slowly, but you're just pouring as much coffee as you're going to drink, and you just throw away the filter and wash it and clean it, and it's just it's a very clean way to have your coffee, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like a drip coffee maker, like you said, making a pot. But again, with a drip coffee maker, you can't really clean all the parts. With the pour over method, you can put your hands and clean it's a very simple device, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Keurig, what it takes to clean it. I just,
Well, listen, sadly, because I'm on the go, and I admit that I am in that, I've kind of succumbed to the microwave. Like I was one of the last people to get a smartphone. Only reason I got a smartphone was because I kept getting text messages and people didn't understand that I didn't have a text plan.
yeah.
So it was costing me for each text.
I didn't have a text plan. Okay,
I didn't.
Grandpa. Oh,
I
goodness.
didn't. I just was like, I'm not, listen, I am a corner boy. I am so when people were like, I'm like, man, I ain't never getting that. I don't need that. Because what happened was I'm not going to be looking online. A phone is only to be called. If you
Right,
want to
right,
call,
right.
all that bullshit. And then when I got the smartphone, I was like, oh, you could.
This is nice, right?
Yeah, this is a computer. I could do everything on it.
Yeah.
I was the last one of my friends to get that. So I was slow to it. But once I got into the technology of everything, I was like, like a tourist in New York with a New York Mets hat and
Right.
a jacket. Like,
Right.
oh, the Keurig?
I love it. I love it. Right.
Yeah. So sadly, I fell into that. And then, it is what it is, but I'm always on the go. I'm up off a 2-3 hour sleep and I'm gone. So I don't have time to and I hope in the next 2 to 3 years to slow it down, but I don't have time to
Can I ask why don't you have a woman over there like making you coffee and fixing you lunch?
So
Are you
now,
enjoying your solitude?
No, I'm not going to say that I don't have somebody that is willing to do that. So I won't say that it's just me. Like,
trust me, we know you have somebody willing to. Yeah, we know that. We're willing to. Yeah, why you don't have her over there, right?
It's just I would say it's just me. I'm just in a place where
you just enjoying your solitude, maybe.
I just want to be able to just exist. And it's hard to do that, in a situation where because you essentially become responsible for people. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's not, if you set boundaries and you say, here's what I want to do, you don't have to bend to that. But I haven't been able to separate from society wise. There's still a little bit of that to me, where I'm like, okay, this is how things are supposed to go, as opposed to this is how I feel and how I want things to go. So it's just a matter of me, and I don't blame anybody else for my circumstances.
I got you.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of me taking the reins and saying, okay, here's the direction I'm gonna go, and and here's what I'm gonna do. And anybody that's fuck with me is along for the ride. If you don't fuck with what I'm talking about or what I want to do, that's why that's one of the things that I always like, and I don't have a problem telling people when I admire stuff about them, but admiring somebody who is able to say, I'm by myself, I'm okay with that, and it doesn't matter what everybody else around you is saying, what should be the norm.
Yeah.
So I've always admired people that's able to be like, nah, here's where I'm at. But, whether it be relationships, religion, worldviews, politics, the people that I admire the most are the ones that are able to be like, okay, y'all got all that going on. I'm gonna just stay over here in my little corner, and regardless of
I feel you. Do you have women throwing themselves at you everywhere you go?
No, because I literally go from work to home. And I'm not gonna say there wasn't a time where I was a bit overwhelmed by stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as far as like in general, nah, because I'm not even like I don't even lift my head up to look around. I gotta be honest
Well,
with
when a man is as attractive as you are, is it hard to pick a woman when you have so many interested in you?
you. No, I'm not actually looking to pick. That's the thing. I honestly, I'm gonna tell you where I'm at this particular point in my life. I'm looking to um, be in a place where I can just be myself, do what I want to do, and not have to answer to people, not have to answer to people's questions or their view on society, or a lot of times. So like I know I'm assuming, but I know you might get a lot of, well, why don't you have kids, or why don't you do this, or why don't you do that, or why you should be you're a good woman, you should have somebody, like all these things that people, for them, to me, it's what they would want,
Yeah.
and they try to push that on you. So
Oh, no. I definitely can relate to you being in that space right now. But I mean, like, if, say, a year from now or 2 years from now, you wanted to have a partner, what do you like? Are you what? Are like, how does a guy like you pick a partner when you can be with anybody?
I probably, I don't know that a year from now,
Like, do
I'm,
you have a type, or
I'm,
is it
I'm,
like,
I'm gonna say this to you, and it's probably gonna sound corny,
yeah, go?
but when I wake up, so like I'm gonna go to sleep in a little while. When I wake up, I literally am like, I'm gonna try to have a good day on purpose, and that's it. I don't look at anything other than that. I'm like,
No, do you think I don't believe you? I believe you.
no, well, because there are, I feel like so you probably getting more out of me than on here than anybody's ever. So
Okay, yeah, I definitely believe you. Look, you are a very attractive man, and I don't mean just you look good. Like, your aura, you're very masculine. If you're single, it's because you want to be single. Like, I'm convinced. I
well,
believe. So yeah, I'm just kind of more wondering, like, and I've asked this to really strikingly, like, beautiful women, like, what's it like being that fine? Like, just tell me. What's it like?
so
I'm just curious, like, what's that like? Like, I'm not a bad looking person, but you're one of those, like, overwhelmingly attractive people. Like, is it a burden being that fine? Is it fun having that many options, or is it like a burden? Does it make it hard to choose? Like, what's that like?
no, I don't. So I don't look at myself like that. I look at myself as a regular person
Yeah.
who is just, so I don't, if somebody says that to me, you know, for the most part, I'm like, who you talking about? Because let me back up a little bit. Growing up, being dark skinned, you know, I've always looked older than I am. So those are the type of things that growing up were like negatives. So I grew up like, trying to find my place and having people actually, compliment me or there was, you was an African booty scratcher, or you was a tar baby.
Yeah.
Like those are
Yeah.
things like, so to transition from that into people actually liking you and people actually telling you, they actually like what you look like. You know what I'm saying? That was like a big, transition. But I did find somebody who definitely saw value in me. So let me just say that off the front. But as far as,
That's a nice way of putting it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because they genuinely found value in me and they genuinely poured into me. And part of, dealing with your issues is not knowing how to deal with that, not knowing how to accept that. And if anybody has been to like therapy or counseling, they'll hear the language that I'm talking. So it was just a matter of me getting comfortable with myself. And so by the time I get to the point where I can acknowledge that, hey, listen, I'm okay. I'm a good person. People like me. I didn't really understand how to deal with that. So, that and sadly, that's in my 30s and 40s. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still, believe it or not, at 52, I'm still trying to figure out what all that is.
Are you 52?
And at the same time, not just trying to figure it out, but also trying to navigate, because the decisions I make affect so many different people. I've been a glue to so many different people, so I haven't really had time to like slow down and say, okay, here's what I want. Here's what I want this to look like. Here's what I want a woman to look like. Like, I'm literally just trying to find a place for myself and then go from there.
Is this the longest you've been single?
Well, so let me just say this. I can't say that. I would say my life is a train wreck. My love life is a train wreck inside a garbage dumpster fire. So
you said that before. So are you saying that you're not single?
No, I'm not saying that I'm not single. I'm saying that I'm not looking, is what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with the next.
So how can your love life be a dumpster fire if you're single?
Because along the way,
scattered family remains or whatever.
Yeah. Along the way,
Okay,
when you're not sure what you're doing with your life, you can create all kinds of shit, all kinds of turmoil. You can hurt a lot of people, and you have to rebuild relationships, or possibly, walk away from relationships. And so that's really what it is. I'm not, saying I don't want to. There's a lot of stuff that I could say that kind of puts me out there, and people will be able to figure out what I'm talking about. But I'm being vague for a particular reason.
Well, and I think I can hear you. I think that, like, and I don't know if you know this or not, but I think when women hear a man say something like that, sometimes it's like a guy could be like kind of giving us a sign that could be kind of like bad news, but we hear him taking accountability, so we assume that it means that he's healed and he wouldn't necessarily hurt anybody again, but that's not necessarily what that means.
No, you're right. So but where you're right is that the intentions is not. That's what my intentions. I don't want to hurt anybody anymore, and so because like I use the analogy of Godzilla stomping through a city and leaving all this destruction. And then, Godzilla kind of just goes in the water and goes about his business. But I'm here and I'm looking at it, and I have kids. I have an adult daughter. I have, what I'm saying? So like, everybody's looking at me like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, what, and part of, so some of the things that I've had to deal with is like part of like, being a good father is being good to your children's mother.
Yeah.
That's an underrated
part
of it.
Yes.
So so I may feel like, listen, man, I'm a great dad. Okay. But if you ask certain people, they may say, well, here's my point of view. And so that's what I'm saying. So like I'm careful to just make like statements of who I am and what I am, because I know that along the way that I have definitely like caused confusion, and I've been a liar, I've been a cheater, like all those things have been been me. They're not me, but through like counseling, therapy, things like that, like when you look at the totality of the circumstances and who I am as a person, you can look back and go, okay, look, you're actually a good dude, but we gonna if we take this particular portion of your life, you wasn't good at all. And as although I would love to like be able to tell, especially men, especially black men, especially the generation coming after me, I would love to be able to just talk to them and say, listen, man, you know, this ain't it, or here's and not in a way that I'm, you know, I'm standing up, you know, higher than you, but
Right.
there's some things that, you know, from my point of view that they may help you. You know, I would love to be able to do. That's actually what I wanted when I got on YouTube. I wanted to be able to just do stuff like that. But where we're at in the particular place that we're at, it's kind of hard to do that. So I would have to expand my audience and be able to just, you know.
Well, that's definitely something I wanted to talk about too when I was talking about celibacy. Not that like dating is bad, but just that like I think all this promiscuity is overrated. And if you were coming from the point of view like I had access to these women and I did these things and it didn't make me happy, like and hurting people didn't make me happy and I regret these things, I do think that would be valuable to talk about that. So, you know, what's funny is if you were ugly, nobody would even care. But, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but I, you know, in that particular case, if I felt like I needed to like, you know, maybe be more boisterous or maybe be more shocking or maybe, you know what I'm saying, add some different things. There's a way to get your message across where people can say, all right, because there's a whole group of men who, you know, may not feel like they're attractive that can resonate with what I'm actually saying. So
no, that's true. But even women who are unattractive, they want to listen to attractive women. Like everybody likes attractive people. And I mean, even you know, a man who's not as attractive could say, wow, this guy is handsome enough to have all these women. And he's at a point where he's done this damage and he's so afraid he might make a mistake again. Or, you know, maybe a part of you doesn't feel like you deserve at this point, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's all of that. And, you know, it's also just, you know, just trying to figure out a way to package them. I know it's silly saying like package messaging when you actually trying to help people, but you know, part of it is you got to package the messaging in a way that's, you know, people can, okay, you know, you're gonna miss some targets, I'm saying, but if I, you know, that old corny saying, like if I connect with one person and then, you know, it's worth it for me. And I truly believe that anyway. Like, you know, you can.
I do too. Yeah, I know. I was talking to a teacher friend of mine a few days ago, and he was kind of like going through a difficult time. His wife is sick, and he was saying how he felt like in all his career he really only helped like 8 or 9 kids. And I'm like, dude, that is so many people.
Yeah.
That's so many people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of people. Like, and you probably helped a bunch more you don't even know, but you can point to 8 or 9 kids you know you had this profound difference in their life. Like, that's a lot of fucking people.
In the spider web effect, right? You know what I'm saying? Because those 8 or 9 goes to somebody else. And, you know, one of the greatest compliments for me was my oldest daughter, who is 32. Is she 30? 92. She'll be 33 this year. She, like, when she was a late teenager, I heard her like literally quoting something that I said to her. Like, she was verbatim saying the words out of my mouth. And that's when it was like, oh, like I made an impact because she's actually saying, and she's saying that to her friends. So you never want to underestimate like what your effect is. Even like you said 8, 9 people, you know, and I imagine as a teacher, when you come across, you know, thousands of kids, 8 or 9 may seem like, that's not enough. But um, you know, those 8 or 9, like I said, that spider web, those 8 or 9 can turn into, you know, 100 real quick because of your messaging. And the idea anyway is just not to just, focus on, how many people in particular you reach out, you reach, excuse me, just
Yeah, I
getting,
mean, to pick a profession where you could even like kind of help anybody is a very fulfilling thing. And I mean, if you even know that you helped 8 or 9, how many did you really help anyway? But yeah, even if you only help 8 or 9 people in the way that he was talking about, having the type of help we were talking about, like, dude, how many people can say that they did that?
Yeah. Well, I think there's certain professions that are, I mean, maybe here and there they get their flowers, but the thankless teaching. I remember a couple of years back, one of the teachers for my teenage daughter, 17 now, she wanted to come by the house, and she just kind of wanted to see, the atmosphere and just talk. And she said that when she got here, because she was saying, like, she's got all these kids in her class, and one of the things that she wanted to know, and if, you can take it, you could take it a certain kind of way. I didn't, but one of the things she wanted to know was, like, when she's dealing with this particular kids, like I'm dealing with Carrie, and I know what's her environment. Like, okay, Carrie may not have eaten today, so I got to look at, I'm not going to be grading her. I'm not going to be looking at her a certain way, because I know that she, there's a little bit more of a struggle there, and there's a little bit more whatever the case is. She was taking each individual kid, and for a teacher to take the time out to visit home, we could just said, no, you can't come here.
Yeah,
you can't come here. But the fact of the matter is, I felt like it was important, and for her to see and talk and have a conversation and look around, and she didn't go past the dining room, but the point was, this kid is well fed.
Yeah,
this kid has these things, so okay, I know what I'm dealing with this particular kid in general. And so she was able to look at kids and say, okay, this kid is having issues. So when they come to school angry, or they come to school whatever, they may just not have eaten.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to now send them to the principal's office, because I know they didn't have any food this morning. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to reach out to the lunch lady and say, hey, could you give me a little blah, 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 little extra for this kid, because that's what they're struggling with. So it's definitely an underestimated field. And
I mean, I fed hundreds of students. I always kept food in my class. Like the thing with the clothing drive, like I can't even, the amount of stuff I've supplied to my students, and you never know, like the kids don't have to ask me for the food, like they can just eat it. So it's no telling, you know what I mean, what impact it could have had on somebody. And it's a privilege to be able to do that for somebody. It's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah,
I call it happy teacher moments. You might have heard me talk about that before. Like, it's a wonderful feeling to be able to, like, be that good guy helping the kid. It feels great.
yeah, for sure. But there's a balance though. There's an opposite side of that, where there are kids that you can help, and you want to help, and you kind of just, and whether you reach out. I'll never forget. I worked with I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna get off. I know you gotta work. I'm being so bad. I know, it was a good talk though. No, I gotta get up.
Then I won't say anything more. I'll be good.
I gotta get up in like 4 hours. But
I know. I won't say anything more. Go ahead. You get the last word. Go.
So I worked with her. She was a dispatcher for my job, and she was getting her her master's, and she was going into teaching. And I ran into her. She happened to be teaching at my middle daughter's school, and I ran into her at the school, and I said, "Hey," I was like, her name is Kay. I was like, "Kay, how's it going?" And she shook her head and was like, and then when I talked to her, she was like, like there's no between the school administration, the kids, and the parents. It's just the support is just not there. That's the other side of it. Like, so we talked about, like, you know what I'm saying, like being able to provide an extra meal and all those things, maybe some clothes. But the other side of it is when you are in a district or a school in particular that don't see that they're not supporting what you actually need for the kids. So again, like I saluted defrauding about military service, the teachers that I see that are dealing with some of these administration or some of these what would teachers fall under as far as like when it comes to the city? Like they would fall under
well, it's still the administration, the county, the board.
County board, like Board of Education. That's what it was.
There's a lot of layers of administration over teachers. Yeah, it's a lot.
So when you fall under those Board of Educations that may not see the value in what you actually do on a day-to-day, because they're not. So you got your curriculum, you got things that you got to tap in and let them know and blah, blah, blah. But you may take a student that is not eating or that doesn't have a father or a mother, and you may take special interest and make sure that they are fed and make sure they have clothes, or make sure that, you may do that on your own. Because I've seen teachers do like, hey, we need pencils, we need this, we need that. That's the other side of it. That's the other side of what we were talking about. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? There's that rewarding side, but then there's that other side that tugs at your heartstrings, and there's nothing, and there's literally nothing that you could do about it, because they need more support than you can give, because you are a human being. You got to live your life. You got to do the things that you need to do to get by. And you can't pour all your energy, all your mental and emotional energy into these students. So there is that other side. And even then, teachers still pour into these kids.
Well, I recently resigned and I'm taking a break. I may or may not go back to it. I always loved it, but all the paperwork and everything, it was just getting to be, I wasn't enjoying it as much. So I always said I wouldn't do it just for a paycheck. I was really, I didn't have as much to give emotionally, and so maybe I'll go back to it, but I was getting burnt out, and you don't want to be burnt out in a job like that. But okay, so thank you for this chat. I enjoyed talking to you. I hope that you enjoy my imaginary bento box lunch tomorrow with all the layers of deliciousness.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I'm gonna hop down. Good night, brother.
I appreciate you, Karen. Okay. For real. Oh man, appreciate y'all for stopping in. Yeah, man. Again, this was impromptu, so I wasn't really planning on anything specific, and I hope that y'all that tuned in were entertained and at least got something out of the conversation, even if it's one little thing, one little nugget. Hopefully, y'all got something out of the conversation, and I'm gonna bid y'all good night. Peace. Y'all be safe out here.
Yeah. Look. Invitation sent, sign seal delivered, you got it, now welcome in. Engaging with the listener, a space for where you is. As we debate particulars, trying to build a bridge through conversation that's intimate. The mission is thought-provoking with words spoken. Bitter truth, not to sugarcoat it, just to open this place on display. Wisdom in the words that he say, a part of just embracing every gray over here. No fear, clear, I'm unafraid. I'm much older, I no longer hold a child ways. A adults in the room, time's past for playing games. Grown talk, isn't that the reason why you came? Simple and plain, delivery raw, straight to the chase. Better than before, learning from your yesterdays. Introducing insight, influence, be amazed by a brother of a certain age. Now rock with 'em.